The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
Don't take this personal, but I hate that your desk is next to mine. After 40 hours of hearing you bitch, let me make one thing clear. The last thing I wanna do is go get a beer. So F you to
Tuesday.
Don't call and ruin my weekend. F you to
Tuesday.
We're co-workers, not friends. And F you to Tuesday, or politely said go screw. F you to Tuesday. How did all the layoffs skip you? I see you more than my wife and kids, so when 5 o'clock hits, know this. F you to
Tuesday.
F you to
Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I will not see you Monday.
the weekend.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
You're a great friend, Cubby.
I'd imagine because of the Queensryche.
One of many reasons, but yes, Queensryche here. Check it out.
You know, Nick,
Yes.
the world changed 36 years ago in 1988 when this album came out, Operation Mindcrime. It spun just a little faster.
They changed the game.
Yeah, it gave people a reason to wake up in the morning.
They changed the effing game. How many years ago?
36.
36. F me running Operation Mindcrime.
A lot of speeding tickets, I'd imagine, on this day 36 years ago.
It was just so beautiful.
One of my former neighbors and buddies was in a all-cop Queensryche tribute act.
Oh, man.
And
You only played Queensryche,
That's
and you
it.
could only be in the band if you were a cop?
Well, he was a chicken sexer, but the rest of them were... No, wait, he was a cop. I take that back. Chicken effer, that's what I meant. He was one of the guitar players. Talented group.
You'd have to be. You'd have to be to cover this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially vocally.
Vocally was the weak spot.
Okay.
I mean, as you can imagine,
Of course.
the whole thing, they're all geniuses at what they do. A little easier to recreate some of the instruments than it is to nail the Jeff Tate songs, but
Absolutely.
not bad. Not where you're cringing or anything.
You saw them live. You saw the all-cop Queensryche trivia act live.
I saw them practicing, which is about as far as they got. You know, just a rehearsal studio. They may have played one or two shows.
Never quite got off the ground, huh?
No. Have you guys heard of them?
No.
Yeah, nobody else has either.
Yeah, what a great record. I love it when you give us heads up on stuff like that. 7 years ago.
Did you go to the show where they played the whole thing in its entirety, the whole album?
Yes.
I'm an idiot for not going.
Yeah, they played the whole schmear in its entirety. Oh, this is, I don't know how many years ago now at The Myth. Is it still called The Myth?
Yes.
Quite a few years ago at The Myth. And then I think they wrapped the night up with, I think, Jet City Woman and Empire. You know,
I
they
love Jet City Woman.
They played a couple tracks off of the Empire record, and then they got the hell out of there, and everyone was pretty pumped about it. So there you go. It is time. Time to begin our broadcast for this morning, and also, it's time we got a day off. And if you don't like it, you can fall down and go F yourself. Hard. You can fall down hard.
I think people will have some sympathy when they realize I'll have to be in Shakopee all day, Stillwater all day on Sunday. I think maybe some folks will go, oh, okay, I get it.
What's going on in Stillwater?
You know, that's none of your business.
Okay, yeah.
A little football tournament for my son.
Oh, cool.
That's not... Go ahead.
No one should have to go to work following spending an entire afternoon in Stillwater.
All day, and it could go through the evening, as far as I know.
Into the evening.
Oh, geez, Jesus said, it's subtle when we played that FU till usually Monday, but we changed it to Tuesday. But are you guys off on Monday? Yes, it was subtle, but we are off on Monday.
It's friggin' time. Welcome to the show. Personally, I plan on enjoying myself with our 3-day weekend. I hope to be crossing under the Spooner Blows Railroad Bridge sometime late this afternoon. And I'll tell you, it's funny every damn time. Every time.
I've never seen it in person, but I've seen the photos, and that's pretty good. I can't imagine in person how much better it is.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm joining some old bros out in the Hayward, Wisconsin for our biannual Over the Hill beer party out that way. So I hope all the gentlemen's clubs in that area take sweaty bills coming out the pockets of 50-some-odd-year-old men. Because we're on our way.
Was it the first broadcast at Turtle Lake a couple years ago? Was that when we met one of the proprietors of a strip club you go to on this trip, or is that? I get this confused every time.
That was many years ago.
Yeah, that was Are You Smarter Than a Stripper, I believe.
Oh my, it was that long ago?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And I thought it was just like 2 years ago.
No, yeah, it was like 6-7 years ago.
Can you do me a favor and look up my doctor's number?
Dude,
Are you? It was really that long ago?
Yeah.
It was further ago than that. I remember this.
The tall, thin, white-haired guy.
Yes.
Many years ago, we were hanging out at Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, before we forged this superpower friendship with the Turtle Lake Casino people, right? I can tell you the exact date. Well, I can't tell you. You can look it up. It was the same night that Francisco Liriano threw a no-hitter in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
That's how long ago this was. So look up. You remember that night? He walked 17 people or something like that, but he still got the no-hitter.
And threw like 118 pitches, something like that. June 15th, 2020. Oh, no. Excuse me. That was just a recap looking back on it. May 3rd, 2011.
2011, Josh, was when we were...
Jeez.
And you said you thought maybe 2 years ago. You're getting old.
Dude. And I even said 7 years ago. That's 11 years ago.
I'll chalk one of the answers up to age. I'll chalk the other answer up to just pure stupidity.
I was going to say weed, but I guess you could say that.
So, yes, what you're thinking of was we're hanging out at the Turtle Lake Casino. I believe that was our first time there, 2011. We met a dude who at the time had something to do with a boom boom room up there in the Hayward area called Jack of Diamonds. I don't know what it's called now, if it's still in business, but yes, Josh, you had everything but the time frame. And that night we played a round of Are You Smarter Than a Stripper?
Which was a lot of fun. I was surprised how much fun that was.
The girls were having a good time. The crowd had a good time. That was one of the few, remote is the term we use in the business when you do something outside of your studio comforts. That was one of the few remotes where I really, really thought it went off beautifully. Most of them are nightmares.
Yep.
But that particular gig that night at Turtle Lake was just a real riot.
The only disappointing part, and this is nobody's fault, it was just our ignorance, is we gave away a major prize, and it was $10,000. And they had like guys in white gloves, these big security dudes. They're wheeling it out in this big glass case. And so they're pushing it out, and we were like, "Oh my God, I've never seen this amount of money. I've never seen more than a couple $100." And it was very disappointing.
Yeah, it was.
I was expecting all those big guys were going to have to lift it up and carry,
See, I hate to do this to you because now I think you're going to end up going and visiting a doctor or something, but your information again is off.
That wasn't that same night?
The night we saw the glass case with all the money in it was when we were playing poker. We had a poker tournament.
I don't remember the poker at all. Now I'm in a glass case of emotion. Are you sure you're right on that?
Yeah. You're thinking of two separate events. You might need to see a neurologist.
I do see a neurologist.
You might need to see another neurologist.
Yeah, he's not very good.
Yeah, remember when we straight up had a poker tournament?
I don't at all.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember poker at all.
Usually I'm the guy who forgets the details.
Well, I haven't slept in 3 weeks.
Well, that'll do it.
It's been bad.
That'll do it.
Yeah, so we had a poker tournament later on in the afternoon. In the morning, I was there earlier, and I was calling a bingo.
You were calling a bingo.
It was like a bingo game, and the winning prize was Iron Maiden tickets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was just there for the
fun.
night thing then. Maybe that's why I don't remember the poker.
Hey, Cubby, welcome to the crew. You know what I mean? I've been there for years already where the details escape me. You're finally old.
Yeah, well, hey, it's been happening for a little while. I got lost in the building today. Like I said,
That's easy to do around here.
I thought I've slept 12 hours this week.
Yeah, it sucks. We all know that pain. As of 9 a.m., this effing program is going to take a big fat-ass 3-day weekend. There ain't a damn thing anyone can do about it.
Well, kind of. I'm really not. We have to take pictures after work today.
Yeah, we do.
I'm really not looking forward to that.
I'm so awkward.
I've been dreading that. Yeah, I'm the same way. Last night, I was going to try and take a little time to learn my face and look in the mirror and feel what it, what the muscles do when I smile, because I don't know how to do it on command at all. No clue.
I've never met anyone who hates pictures as much as Josh. And it was one of the first things we discussed when I walked in the door this morning, wasn't it? So it's obviously been on your mind. You're stressed out about these pictures we're taking.
And I don't have any. They have all these suggestions for clothes, and I have none of them. I was looking last night. I have 2 pairs of jeans. So that was easy. Easy choice. I wasn't worried about that. But then when they had all these things, you got to wear this or that.
And just show up with one outfit. They take 2 pictures, you leave. You're worrying too much about this. The outfit you have on right now looks fine.
Well, go ahead.
You got a black shirt on. You got a pair of blue jeans.
That was one of the things they said.
This isn't going to be a half-hour process. We're walking in there. The guy with the camera can take 2-3 pictures, and we're out.
Wait, this is black? I thought this was like a greenish color.
Oh,
no, Josh.
Me and Ashley got our pictures done like a couple weeks ago, and boy, did they take a long time. It was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I want to get done in 5.
That's not going to be happening. I'm sorry that you're worrying so much about this, but I'm not surprised. You've never liked being photographed, and I get it. But we're going to be in and out of there in no time.
No matter how many angles and different, ways they look and poses, I'm still going to look the same doofy guy I am. There's no fixing it.
You can't look good.
No.
Yeah, you know what? That's got to be a bit of a comfort, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's no pressure because we know you're going to look dumb.
They could get the best camera from NASA or Hollywood, whatever. I'm still just going to look
NASA?
like. Yeah, they got the high-tech cameras and stuff, I imagine.
Sure. Just really look at your face. Zoom in real close.
How did our space program dragged it? So, Josh, look, you're nervous about your face? You were looking at your face last night to try to...
I ran out of time. But I was going to practice just to say, okay, that's what it feels like when I'm smiling. And it's not like I don't smile. It's just I don't know how to do it on command.
Could I help real quick?
Please.
Okay. Look at me.
Right.
3. I'm going to count from 3 down to 3, 2, 1. Look at me as if you're posing for a picture. Okay. And I'll tell you what I think.
Well, you already got me smiling. So.
You look. Right. That's the problem. I think the people that we take pictures with, you don't like those people.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that. It's
you don't like them.
There's one guy, but deservedly so. Screwed us over for years. Talks behind your back. But there's they want us to do like weird poses and like, hey, if you got a leather jacket, bring a leather jacket, bring in sunglasses. I'm like, have they met us before? No, this is I'm not going to take pictures.
This isn't late 80s radio. We're not going to dress up like we're rock stars, for Christ's sake. When you have a minute, 3, just give me a pose.
All right, I got to think of something just going to keep me neutral, right?
Really, honestly,
you already have me smiling.
Look at me like you're going to look into the camera today, and I'll try to critique it. Okay, right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, you look nervous.
I don't know how to do it.
You look terrified.
I know. Well, and the other thing is that I get so much crap because my eyes are always closed. So then I do my best to keep them open, and I look like I'm scared, surprised, or witnessing something horrible. because they're so wide.
None of us enjoy the process. I don't like many photos of me, and I love myself. I mean, like a lot. So, okay, let's try it again. 3, 2, 1, go. Again, you look really nervous.
I thought I nailed that
one. It was a little better.
That one I thought I had.
None of this matters. I mean, well, again, you worry too much.
Sartell Jesus says, we all know you hate pictures. We can tell in the pictures.
Yeah.
You can tell. You
Pretty
can.
obvious, yeah.
We all do our best. None of us were meant to be models. I understand your nerves.
There's one picture I thought that looked okay, right? It didn't look odd. And it's of me and Wapple at Myth. We were talking about at an Average Joe car show. And it's because I had no idea they were taking the picture.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that one was good.
That's the best picture the two of us have ever taken.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know we were being photographed.
And I had sunglasses on, and I looked badass for once.
You know, you went a little far.
No.
I was more just saying we didn't look bad. I wasn't saying we looked good. But for us, it was a decent picture.
I know it tortures you, but if it makes you feel any better, I always enjoy these conversations, and it is very interesting to me that something as silly and meaningless as a photo session has you sleepless. You know,
I was added to a few other things this week. Yeah, I was. You were dreading it.
You were stressed out about it last night.
Well, and then they were so specific about the clothes, and I didn't want to buy clothes that I'm never going to wear outside of for Friday. And then it's like, if we showed up in leather jackets and sunglasses, people are going to think we're giant douchebags that are going to. It would be anybody that looks at these things.
It would be so phony. It would be disgusting. I'm sorry that you're nervous, but it's totally what I expect from you. Trust me. We're walking in, click, and we're gone. We got a 3-day effing weekend. I got to be underneath the Spooner Blows Railroad Bridge by about 4 or 5 this afternoon. I'm not wasting time taking stupid photos. I got made fun of last night by my friggin' wife.
For what?
So, Josh, you know about this. She contacted you.
I actually have a story about that.
She contacted Josh even. This is what my friggin' wife likes to do. I don't know the latest terms. I don't.
Now, this one isn't the latest, but go ahead. This one's been around for a while.
I'm becoming my dad more and more every minute that goes by. And you'll understand what I mean here in a minute. So, the friggin' wife, lazy ass that she is lying in bed watching television last night, and I come into the bedroom. And because we don't spend much time together, I felt the need to tell her why I was in the bedroom with her. And I said, because normally she doesn't see me. What are you doing in here? So I said, yeah, sorry, I'm coming into the bathroom here. I got to shave because tomorrow we're taking pictures for the internet. And she starts laughing wildly at me. And I said, what the hell is so funny? And she says, taking pictures for the internet. I guess that's not the way you're supposed to say it.
Isn't that exactly what you're doing?
I guess
that is what you're doing.
So she's texting Josh and making fun of me. She's texting all of her girlfriends and making fun of me for the way I said that.
Oh, I didn't know she was texting other people, too. I thought it was...
Oh, she does it. She does it all the time. Whenever I say something that she perceives to be old man speak, she lets everyone know what a uncool...
So it wasn't just a private moment between me and her where
you
we were
the
bonding?
First person that she told.
Nice.
There you go. So I guess I was supposed to say that differently. The way I said it was, we're taking pictures for the internet, and she thought I sounded like a moron.
So I had texted her back, something, and then I was going to send her, she sent something back, and I was going to send her a laughing emoji, right? But it defaulted to the last emoji I sent, which you may remember from yesterday was a very sexually suggestive one to you.
Yes.
I hit it. And all of a sudden, so it goes on there, and thank God I was just about to hit send, and I realized it and thought, that might be a little inappropriate and awkward. She might wonder what the hell's going on.
She's throwing out there, see what she did.
Or she might end up at your place while I'm in Hayward. Yeah, so I got my balls busted for that. I guess I sounded like an old fart when I said we're taking pictures for the internet. I later on in the night, I said, what's the problem? And she was saying, I guess, what a normal person would have said is, we're taking pictures for our website.
Our website, yeah.
Not
But
for
I wouldn't have thought that was too odd.
It made it, I guess
You're close enough.
I made it sound like, when everyone hits their start button in the morning, it goes directly to one place, the internet. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it, but it was kind of fun.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned they want us to this mysterious they I'm talking about. The photographer wants us to wear something that's going to make you look cool, right? Leather jacket, sunglasses. I think they said a straw hat, a scarf. I don't know what happened.
It was like seasonal items to make you look like if you have something going on in the summer.
Yeah, it was weird.
One of the seasonal items was barefoot and a fedora, if you can pull it off.
What is a fedora again?
Are you joking?
No.
They must have been joking.
It says
it's in there.
But
excuse me, not barefoot, a beret or a fedora if you can pull it off.
I was wondering about the barefoot. Yeah. I'm like, well, they're headshots, so why would they need your
Wait a minute. Time out. A beret like a Frenchman would wear?
Yeah.
Well, that's a joke.
It's in the email.
It's got to be.
It's in the email.
Well, it's in jokes in an email.
Yeah, jokes are allowed in emails. No one expected anyone to wear a beret.
Well, I wore my snowboard helmet, so that was awkward.
At any rate, I don't know why this process was made to be like a share concert with multiple, what's the word,
wardrobe changes.
It's not going to happen.
Ghost Bear Jesus says, wait, don't people already think you guys are douches? Yes, but those are only people that listen or know us. I'm just thinking about people that might be in town and go, I wonder what 93X plays, and then look at the photos and go, oh yeah, this is why people think radio people are douchebags. Yeah, because they all look like douchebags.
Sure, they think we're douchebags, but if we took some of the advice of the bosses, we'd be even bigger douchebags.
Oh, huge!
Like you're just saying, hey, put on a leather jacket, bring some sunglasses.
This person says that Josh, has a face for radio and a voice for newspaper. Well, thank you.
It's going to be quick, painless today, Josh. Trust me. I wish you would have called me or something last night. I could have talked you down.
Well, I figured you just knew how I was going to feel.
I knew. Yeah, I did.
It goes by quickly. He'll be all right.
I'd ask my wife, like, well, what about this? Nope. Well, how should I wear this? Nope. And a lot of it I couldn't because it was just branded stuff. Like usually stuff my kids get me, like I've got a picture of a car with a bunch of stuff tied on it that says, that's not going anywhere. That kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Typical, like, dad tees.
You've got the attitude T-shirts.
Yeah, they got me a Barbie shirt. Oh, I think I might be wearing my Barbie shirt.
You are wearing a Barbie shirt.
I got it underneath my overshirt. And,
it's going to be
It's all that kind of stuff. One that says, meh. I got a shirt that says, meh.
You have a shirt that says,
meh. And there was either a Christmas or a Father's Day gift.
I love that.
I love you, but I'm not posing in a picture with you if you're wearing a shirt that says "meh."
No. They wanted us to look fancier.
I like that all of this gave you a headache, Josh, and me, the 26-year-old woman on the show. I took maybe like 1 minute figuring out what to wear.
Are you calling my friend an under 26-year-old woman?
Because thank you.
Because that's what he's been waiting on.
Ashley, you look. I don't know. Are we allowed to say this anymore? You looked beautiful.
Thank you. I tried.
You look great.
I appreciate it.
You look like a natural in front of the camera. Is that okay to say in 2024?
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. I saw some of the photos. You looked like you knew what you were doing.
It was a lot of fun. I felt like natural doing it. So he's pretty decent behind the camera in that aspect.
Oh, he's very good.
You don't feel uncomfortable.
Well, I don't know. I saw a couple of waffles.
You feel comfortable or uncomfortable.
There was a couple of poses they had Wapple in that if those ever made it out on the internet, you were going to be sexually assaulted.
Yep.
I don't know why they put you in those poses.
I think they did it to see if he would actually do it. Like they asked him to do that pose to see if he would go along with it.
Well, I'm the most literal person ever, so you knew I was going to go with it.
Yep.
I agree with, I didn't see your pictures, Ashley, from your recent photo shoot for the internet. But I agree with what Josh was saying. You seem to actually enjoy the process. You can tell which is rare to enjoy a process like that. You can tell in pictures of Ashley that her smile is genuine.
Yep.
You're easy to make laugh, in those situations. So, yeah, I can believe that yours turned out great. You seem to be totally comfortable and content with the process, where most of us just want to get in and out of there quicker than you can say Jack Robinson.
Yeah, we even started having fun and taking different shots where there's a couple shots where I'm mid-air. I did not need to hang out as long as I did, but it was.
Wait a minute, there was a shot where he made you jump into the air?
Yeah, but that was just messing around afterwards. I was yeah, why not? Let's try it.
I don't like the guy. And I'm going to let him know when we walk in this morning.
First thing out of your mouth. Hey, you.
So there you go. Stressful week for Cubby. Today's picture day. A special guest today, ducking in at 7:30. Dr. PG's is Dr. James F. Parnell. So he'll hang around a little bit, and then later on, before we get out of here, we can do some Dr. PG's stuff. Have some folks call in and ask them what's wrong with their this and that. It'll be a hell of a deal. What were you saying, Josh? 36, 37 years ago today, the terrific, groundbreaking Queensryche record, Operation Mind Crime, was released. I got something else similar. We don't really need to fall down and touch ourselves here, but 27 years ago yesterday, so pretty close, 27 years ago yesterday, Austin Powers International Man of Mystery was dumped into movie theaters.
Oh, wow.
I was. Powers. That's another one of those where a couple people are saying, oh my gosh, it was 36 years ago that album came out. I feel so old. But I thought that too. I saw that stat and thought, my God, it was that long ago.
Time has just been bombing by.
Yeah, it goes by fast when you hit a certain age.
I didn't care much for... Well, I suppose the second Austin Powers movie was enjoyable. Anything beyond that I thought was garbage. But that was, really honestly, I'm not a huge Mike Myers guy, but the original Austin Powers, that was one of those movie theater experiences where, man, I really honestly laughed my nuts off throughout the entire damn thing. Really loved it.
I did too. The third one I wasn't a huge fan of. I like that's Goldmember, right?
Yep.
That was garbage.
Oh, it's gross at times.
Yeah, it was just it was a little too much. But those first two are so good. Did you like Wayne's World? Did you like that bit at all? I like that one.
No, because as you know, I've always wanted to choke Dana Carvey unconscious.
What about So I Married an Axe Murder?
Loved it.
Funny.
Yeah, Murderer. I thought that was good too.
I loved it. Watching it these days, it kind of lost some of its luster, but I vividly remember a buddy of mine calling me on the telephone, and he said, "You have HBO?" I said, "Yeah, I think I got it around here somewhere." And he said, "Last night I watched a movie with Mike Myers called So I Married an Axe Murder." He said, "You got to see it. It's an effing riot." I really like that one too. Sure. When he does the Scotsman, that gimmick.
The head move.
Yeah.
It's like a pumpkin on a toothpick.
Especially the wedding scene. His dad's trying to sing Do You Think I'm Sexy by Rod Stewart, and then a piper is down. If you don't know the movie, you don't know what the hell we're talking about. We got to get going. We got plenty to do today and nothing to do on Monday because we're not going to be here. If you're counting on us on Monday, you're screwed. We'll be right back.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Afford Anything talks about how to avoid common pitfalls, how to refine your mental models, and how to think about how to think.
Paula, while certainly you can mess up on $1 million a year, it is far less likely than it is on $30,000 a year.
Right.
I would meet wonderful people that were struggling with a budget that was super tight. It was 100% you need to make more money.
Make smarter choices and build a better life.
Afford anything, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Man, think about this, Josh. Come this time Monday, we won't even be here.
That is a nice thought.
Some lame best of bit will be playing, and then it'll be playing again 30 minutes later.
Yeah, somebody will screw it up. You're right.
You know, we won't even be here this time come Monday. 3-day weekend. Woo! We might as well get the stupidest of the stupid news stories out of the way first. This is all about a series of videos that were shared on that godforsaken social media. And all the 8th graders and fully grown dorks are talking about it. A dude named Alec Shaw put up the videos, and it shows what appears to be a dude sneaking onto his property and going into his shed. All right, he's got a security camera pointed at his backyard, kind of a setup. The videos that this Alec guy fired up on all the social, a dude sneaks onto his property and goes into his shed, and then supposedly comes out the shed a day later, looking several years older.
My God.
So one of the theories behind this deal, and a very reasonable and rational theory, I might add, is that the character that went on in the shed and then comes out a day later looking older is a time traveler.
Stewie Griffin. He finally made his time machine work.
A time traveler, I said. Here's the whole story on this nonsense. This Alec dude says this here property that he owns, or his parents own, or whatever, like I said, it has a security camera that alerts him to activity when he's not there. He got, as they say here, pinged to some movement recently, and then he supposedly sat down and reviewed the videos. It showed a random young dude wandering onto the property. The young dude, he moseys around aimlessly before popping into a shed, seemingly for no reason. Alec calls the cops, who come to check it out, but they can't find the guy in there at all. No one's in there, according to Alec and the cops. A day later, Alec posted footage that seemed to show a totally different person exiting the shed, only this man is much older, although he looks like an older version of the character that entered the shed in the first place. Again, according to Alec. Maybe if you look at the side-by-side pictures, if you want to go that far with it, maybe you'll agree that the dude who ended up coming out the shed looks like an older version of the one who went in. I don't know. It depends on who you are. Alec thinks he's got a time traveler on his hands. And he insists there's no funny business happening on his end.
Okay.
Some believe it. Most don't.
Yeah. I'm going to need some more evidence, I think.
Did we bother putting these videos up on 93x.com?
Yep, they're up.
Well, there you go.
I'll be honest, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. I'd have some questions, of course. I mean, how are the Wolves going to do in this next round of the playoff? I'd have some betting questions, just like in, was it Back to the Future 2?
2, yep.
Yeah.
Get the sports almanac.
Get that sports almanac, make a little nest egg for yourself. That'd be something.
All right, so check that out on our website if you feel obligated to do so. What do I got here? Where is this now? India. No matter where you're incarcerated, it almost always, as far as I know, it's almost always against the rules to have a cellular phone on you.
Yeah, I've never heard of a place you can do that, have one.
Right. A prisoner at a big house in India. By damn, he didn't want the guards to find out that he had a cell phone on him. One day here recently, there were they put together a raid. You know how I've seen it in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody F's up and they're going to raid everybody's cell. Shakedown, right? So one day here recently, there was a shakedown of all the jail cells. And this prisoner, he upped and he swallowed his damn telephone. And 20 days later, of course, he's as sick as a dog.
Oh, man, he's been there for 20 days.
I don't even know how you do something like that. You know, it's got to be a little flip phone.
It's got to be one of the smaller ones.
But even so.
Yeah.
My sister did. AT&T sold, it was like the world's smallest flip phone. And it was like maybe an inch. It was crazy how small it was.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It was kind of dumb.
She used it for daily communication?
Yeah. Yeah, it was before our Blackberries and all the smartphones and stuff like that. But yeah, she hated it.
Well, it says here this phone was small enough to where it passed through the guy's throat and esophagus. See, like here come the guards. I got to get rid of this phone. He just gutted it. It made it down his throat and his esophagus, but once it slid into the guy's guts, it got stuck, and he had a world-class case of gut rot.
That's insane. Like, because I'm picturing myself, like, I choke on pills if they're a little bit too big, if they're not, like, the size of Advil.
Uh-huh.
But he's over here deep throating a cell phone.
Mm-hmm. I think if I was in an emergency situation where I needed to hide a cell phone, I'd probably keister it.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want anything back, I would never think to swallow it.
Nope.
I think a lot of our listeners probably expected a keistering when this story...
that seems to be what you hear the most.
When this story began.
Or if you're a lady, a front keistering.
The front butt.
But you know what? You guys wouldn't know. I've done time. And you just, when you're in the joint, like I was in Shakopee, sometimes you do things you might not have expected to do.
Wasn't this just a scared straight program or something?
You used the word just. No, what it was a tour of a jail with the Prior Lake Citizens Academy, and they locked me in a cell by myself for about a minute and a half.
Oh, that's a lot of time to think about what you did.
90 seconds can be a long time when you're in the joint. Just ask me.
Yep. Here we go. Look at me. I always get the biggest smile on my face, and this is twice in like 2 weeks. I always get the biggest smile on my face when Josh gets to tell us about the Prior Lake Citizens Academy. I do.
Swing low, sweet chariot. I was just in there. I had my tin can. I'm going back and forth on the bar.
So the guy who gutted the cell phone, doctors had to cut a hole in him, and they pulled the phone up out of his boiler. Once the phone eater was feeling better, they beat his ass and sent him back to his prison cell. And, of course, now he's in trouble for smuggling the mobile phone into the joint. A prison guard who was on the scene said most of the dudes in here, they hide their telephones in toilets or other places where nobody checks. But this effing guy swallowed it.
He just panicked.
He must have really had something on there he didn't want them to see.
Just imagine swallowing it and then, oh, no, I just swallowed that.
Oh, you've been there. You know, obviously I'm joking about doing time in the joint, but when I was locked in there for a minute, it really was a minute, I felt like, how do people do this? Let me out of here.
You got anxious right away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I definitely did.
Yeah, I've never been there. Jesus balls, I hope it never happens.
Baby Blue Jesus said the lady front butt is called the nature's purse.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
There was another one that had something folder that was good. I can't find the text now.
Let's talk Japanese rice balls, which is a testicular condition caused by eating too much Japanese rice. I'm kidding. Japanese rice balls are food, as you surely already knew. Here's the deal. Let's also just say normally a Japanese rice ball costs you $5. But if the rice ball is first smashed in the sweaty armpit of a foxy young Japanese lady, then the price shoots on up to $50.
Whoa. It's a huge markup.
That is nasty.
And apparently this is a real thing. Don't etch it into stone, but apparently this is like we've said many times before, the Japanese have some different vibes over there.
They really do.
And I dig them for it. I really do. Japanese rice balls rolled in the armpits of cute chicks are allegedly 10 times more expensive than regular ones. This bit is called armpit onigiri. That's the term for it. Japanese babes who are crazy hot, in my opinion.
I will agree with that.
Yeah. I'll be.
I'm seeing some pictures of some of these rice balls getting rolled up, and I'm kind of reconsidering my stance on the whole thing.
I still am not, but I will say they're very attractive.
You're seeing pictures of the process?
Yeah, the pictures of them rolling the rice balls in their armpits.
It leaves a lot of debris. Did you notice?
Yeah,
that?
I did.
That's
Yeah.
kind of gross.
Well, gross. Rice is sticky, isn't it?
Well, it's the what is it? Seeds on there or whatever it is.
Forget what they're called, but yeah, those little black seeds are kind of getting stuck during the process of the rolling.
I love Japanese women. You can ask my friggin' wife. When those Olympics rolled around last time, whatever, the Winter Olympics, whenever the hell that was, I don't give two pumps about the Olympics. I'll watch a few minutes of a hockey game. Oh, maybe there's a this and that. I could not take my eyes off the Japanese damn women's curling team. Every time the wife walked into the living room, I was watching the Japanese women's curling team.
So she commented on it?
Oh, yeah, she thought I was going to lose my mind.
All right, on the idea of being locked in a cell, this text says, I've worked at a prison for 19 years. I still crap my pants when a door closes behind me.
We went on a Boy Scout trip once to the Egan, jail cell, the police station. And
a holding cell, not a jail.
Yeah, exactly. And they were showing us around, and they showed us the holding cell. Do anybody want to go in? One kid volunteered, and they left him in there. They put him in there, and we're kind of standing outside. He goes, okay, I'm ready to come out. And the guy was kind of like, shh, pretend like we left. And then all of a sudden he starts crying. He's like, let me out!
Wait a minute, how old were you?
Second or third grade, maybe.
Oh, really? And you guys, you did that in second or third grade?
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple guys who have gone to prison, nothing horrible. Well, there is one horrible one, but I don't have any stories from him because he's been in prison for the last 25 effing years and we've had no contact. But I know a couple guys who have, been in and out. And one of them said, when you don't want to go to prison? And we said, no, when? And he said, during the NFL playoffs. He said, because everybody, at least back in those days, maybe now they have multiple televisions for guys to sit in a what do they call it, like a neutral room and watch games. When he was there, he said they had one TV, and there were different groups that wanted to watch different games, and there was always a massive fight. One group of guys wanted to watch the Dallas Cowboys. Another group of guys wanted to watch the whoever. And there was always fights. He said, not during the NFL playoffs. It's dangerous.
Any other time, just fine. The NFL playoffs, though?
Back to these Japanese foxes who smash rice in their armpits. And it's become a thing over there. It says when they press the rice in their armpits, they infuse the rice with their pheromones. Some people are trying armpit rolled rice balls in their own homes.
I could never do that.
No, I don't think any of us could.
Not with a straight face.
So, but if you were earning $50 per rice ball, right? After expenses, I don't know what that would come out to be. But so you're rolling them up there and you're sending them out. You wouldn't do that?
No, that's weird.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I hate armpits almost as much as I hate feet. Like I don't even like my own.
I don't know. See, me and a gal years ago, one weekend, we the whole weekend we just spent time licking each other's armpits.
I remember that weekend.
It was hot stuff. I'm kidding. I would never go near anybody's armpit. There are restaurants that proudly serve armpit rice to customers willing to pay 10 times the regular price.
Does seem like they're very creative with sex stuff in Japan. I don't know if it was ever true, but you hear about the panties and vending machines and stuff like that. I wonder if that's a legit thing or just a cool rumor about the Japanese people.
I don't know, Cubby. I've been hearing it for years.
Yeah, you always hear it, right? Used panties in a vending machine.
People in Japan say that rice from the armpit of a foxy lady just straight up tastes better than the regular stuff.
I'll take their word for it.
And this is ridiculous. I'm not sure I buy this part of the story, or any of it, really. But the word is, at some restaurants, they have cute babes hanging around exercising to get all sweaty. And then they use their armpits instead of their palms to knead and shape the rice balls.
You walk in, there's just girls in the Stairmaster.
Some restaurants openly demonstrate the process. You see, but through the glass there, back there in the...
That's what I'd want. I'd want if I was going to pay $50, for a $5 rice ball, I would definitely want to see the process. If you're going to spend that extra, I want to see it made. I'd want to pick them out like a lobster. I'll take that one.
Bunch of chicks back there.
Yeah, roll that.
Aerobicizing.
She's not sweaty enough.
Mm-hmm. If I'm paying $50, you're going to get sweaty, lady. Well, there you go. If you're buying it, that's the latest thing in Japan.
I'm not fat, I'm aerodynamic. Jesus has resent the text. He had sent a funny text, I thought, about what the front keistering is called. He said when you front keister in the process of getting in trouble, it's called the felony folder. That's where you'd file that.
Man. What do I have now in front of me? I guess you got to give this guy credit for his athleticism, especially when you consider his age and the situation he was in. A handcuffed 73-year-old man somehow was able to forcibly throw a cheeseburger at a cop. That's a skill set that I don't think I've ever heard of before. The whole story is that some old-timer derelict was acting up at a grocery store. Police arrested.
It's Wawa again.
Pardon me?
It's Wawa again.
Dude, we got to get out to a Wawa.
Yeah, 2 days in a row, we got some wild Wawa stories.
This was a Wawa grocery store. Yeah, yesterday you said, where do they plant these joints?
East Coast.
East Coast, yep.
East Coast, okay. Okay, Wawa grocery. Dude was acting like a douche. The cops arrested him. His name is Joseph Delancey. Joseph was holding half a cheeseburger when the cops were getting set to put him in handcuffs. He was given an order by the cops to, quote, drop the cheeseburger.
That'd be kind of fun to say.
Mm-hmm. He refused. So the cops cuffed him anyways. And here's where this once-in-a-lifetime athletic feat played out. One of the cops said after the handcuffs were placed onto him, Joseph forcibly threw the burger into my right leg. I don't even know how the hell you do that. Did he have to spin around real quick? He's got handcuffs on. The cheeseburger left behind what they call here burger residue on the cop's thigh. He survived the attack.
Oh, thank God.
The Miracle Burger Toss got the charge of battery on a law enforcement officer added to the derelict's charges. And that's pretty cold-blooded right there that the cops added that in.
Yeah, I think I'd leave that off if I was a cop and had that choice.
But this Joseph prick is a career dangerous scumbag garbage pile, so F him, I say. I read some of the other charges that have been dumped on this guy. Go ahead. Add some stuff on. He deserves it.
Just because of the attempted murder charge? All of a sudden you're going to judge the guy for something like...
It's unfair.
It was attempted. He's not good at it.
You're right. That is unfair of me.
Would you get cred in the clinker for assaulting a cop with a cheeseburger? Or do you think they'd make fun of you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's going
I'm
to
trying to
earn you
remember
any.
back to when I did time.
Oh, here we go.
I always wondered why attempted. Maybe there's something obvious I'm missing, and throw it in there and teach me something. But why is attempted murder a lesser charge? I mean, you tried to kill someone, you just suck at it. Like
It's a
you failed.
Very good question.
I understand the person is still living, but then they're thinking, "My God, I almost died from this psychopath."
Maybe you ought to.
The intent is there.
Maybe you ought to become a lawmaker.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody smarter than me out there that could clear me up, but I never fully understood that.
If it makes you feel better, when I went to Google it after why is attempted, that was like the number one question that came up. So you're not the only one that's wondering.
Oh, really? So why is attempted?
Maybe you should become a politician.
Yeah, especially now. It seems a lot of fun.
You could be the one guy that doesn't make me want to throw myself into a bus. Here we go again. One of those individuals who was in a relationship. Are you following this so far?
Yep. I know people like that.
One of those individuals who was in a relationship. That relationship ended, and they can't let it go. Grown folks, no less. They don't have the maturity to just let it effing go. This fascinates me, as you know. Let it go, they say? Never. You were with me, and now you're not. And I'm supposed to just move on with my life and let you move on with yours?
Crazy concept.
2 incidents come to mind. I think I've told you this one before on the topic of people who it's impossible for them to close chapters. This was one of the most interesting to me. And this was nothing serious. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on how you look at it. We're hanging out one night, and a gal that I was with, we're like, we're in our 40s. 40s! We're hanging out one night at a joint, and one of the gals that I was with, she sees a man walk into the bar who was her 8th grade boyfriend for a few months, right? His name was Donnie. And she says, "Oh, God, it's Donnie. Awkward." And we said, "What? How is that awkward?" The other that comes to mind, really honestly, maybe 3 years had gone by since a gal that I knew had been dumped by, again, a guy named Donnie. And her girlfriends just couldn't hear about it anymore. So we're all at a bar. This gal and her girlfriends and a few other people, myself. The gal who used to date Donnie sees him walk in. And kind of the same situation. The gal says, 3 years have gone by. And she says, "Oh, great. Donnie's here too," right? And her girlfriends just snapped and said, "My God." They just said, "You live in the same town. You're going to see Donnie. So effing what? We've had to listen to 3 years of this." They just snapped at her. And she had it coming. And the gal who had complained that they ran into Donnie again, she just couldn't believe that her girlfriends weren't supportive of her lifetime commitment to hating a guy that had the audacity to stop dating her. She just couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe how they turned on her. Here's the latest sad-ass move.
Well, sorry, I just thought of something. If Donnie asked her to, rekindle the relationship, do you think she would have said yes? Was it that kind of thing? Where she just was hanging on a little bit?
That's a really good question. There was a lot of piss and vinegar directed towards Donnie in that 3-year window.
Because to me, that means you still care some.
Exactly. That never crossed my mind. That's a terrific question. I wonder if Donnie would have walked over and said, "Look, Beb, it's been 3 years. I miss you." I wonder if she would have dove back into his arms. Because you're right. With all that negative heat towards the guy, some of it might have been secretive lust to, love or lust to, be with him again.
Because I love living in indifference, where it just doesn't matter one way or the other. That's the place to be. I mean, I could see it be running in. If you run into an ex, it might be awkward if you ate their dog out of anger, or you did something totally embarrassing, like, oh man, and it reminds you of a time that you acted in a way that you're very ashamed of. But in this case, it seems like, boy, she really cared a lot about that prior relationship.
Didn't think of it that way. So here's the latest character, a dude in Turkey. He sent his girlfriend constant food orders to her door.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, if he's paying for it, I'd be pretty psyched.
Give me a minute here, Ashley.
Slow down.
Give me a minute.
You're such an optimist.
Yeah. He's a little child. He can't get a grip. Over 50 food orders, they say. He placed the orders under fake names and sent them all to her address. A video hit Turkish social media showing 25 delivery guys waiting in front of this gal's apartment to deliver food and, of course, collect their monies.
The picture was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
25 different food delivery guys all in front of this gal's apartment saying, here's your food, where's my cash? And now it doesn't sound so sweet anymore, does it, Ashley?
No, not at all.
I think, one of the things that makes it the best, I think, is, meaning the images, is that most of the dudes are on, like, scooters, right? Like a motorcycle type scooter, and they got their helmets on and all that stuff. Looks like she's being attacked by stormtroopers or something.
Kind of a dork parade.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Most of the food had to be thrown away. She turned it down. She was aggravated. Oh, I mean, beyond aggravated. Says here, the general consensus is that this was her ex-boyfriend pulling this gimmick.
Surprised they don't make you pay up front.
Well, back in high school, when you didn't have, nobody really paid up front, because you order pizza and you pay the guy cash or check. We were having a party, and the doorbell rang. It was a pizza guy. He had like 10 pizzas. So I'm like, I answered the door. I'm like, well, somebody must order these. So I go around. Nobody fessed up. So I'm like, all right, we got to pay for these pizzas. Everybody coughed up $4 or $5, and we had a bunch of pizzas for the night. And then we get a call from some guys at the other high school who heard we were having a party. Ha! Did you guys like getting stuck with that bill? Like, well, we're drinking beer. We were probably going to order pizza eventually anyway. You just saved us a step,
You got it there sooner.
Yeah, like they thought like, oh, we got you guys.
They should have done like disgusting pizza.
And it's also like, if you're having a party somewhere, the rival school, you go crash the party. There's so many other ways they could have gone about that. They just did us the favor of ordering us pizza so we didn't have to go through the process of it.
That's one of the lamest attempts at a prank I've ever heard in my life.
I know. They thought they were geniuses. Like, oh, we got those guys good.
Did you guys notice your lawn is freshly mowed? That was us.
That was us, bro.
I noticed some of your windshields were a little dirty, so we came over and squeegeed them for you.
All right, we got to get out of here. I got one more quick one. I don't know how common this is because I don't get myself involved in such silliness, but it says here that a restaurant in the friggin' United Kingdom, a restaurant over there is throwing a hot wings challenge type of a deal, and they make competitors sign a waiver in case they drop dead on the spot. Is that a common thing? How many of you have done these things?
Yeah, that's really normal. When I worked at a restaurant, they weren't even that crazy hot. We had to have people sign like, hey, if you die, it's not on us.
Yeah,
Really?
I've seen that before. And there was this one restaurant, I think it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or something. They had to stir the sauce with a painter's mask, like a fumigator mask, because it was so hot from all the peppers.
Wing Kings is the name of this joint. They've got the Earn Your Wings endurance test. Folks have to dump 15 chicken wings into their yap, and the wings are coated in Carolina Reaper sauce. So most folks already know that this Reaper garbage is hotter than Dutch Love, around 200 times hotter than a garden variety jalapeno, but not nearly as hot as Olivia Newton-John in the closing musical number from her 1980 movie Xanadu. Carolina Reaper was considered the hottest pepper in the world up until last year when some dude, the same one who developed the Carolina Reaper,
that dude.
This dude developed something called Pepper X.
Yep.
Pepper X.
The guy develops peppers for a living?
That's all he does. And like people, if they want his peppers, he like carries them in a carrying case. It's insane.
That is really cool.
I learned about this dude from watching Hot Ones.
How did you get into that?
People love that show.
Yeah.
I've only watched 1 or 2 episodes. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people have been texting in saying you got to check out the Conan one. Did you watch the Conan one yet?
Yeah, it was good. He was absolutely unhinged.
He goes for it, as Conan typically does. He doesn't do anything half-assed.
He was rubbing chicken wings on his nipples and stuff.
Jeez. What? He was saying that he basically, what he pooped out afterwards, he could weld buildings with or something like that.
People say that after they do the show, they're done for the whole day. They can't do anything else.
Sure. It'd be more than a day for me. So most folks don't finish this nuclear plate of wings. As far as I know, they haven't had anybody up and die on them yet. You know, they wear the gloves to handle the wings. You're strongly advised to keep your hands away from yours or anyone else's genitals at all times when you're handling the...
Hate to be the first person that found that one out.
Right.
Dana, you're the biggest wing fan I've ever met.
Yes.
What's the hottest sauce you've tried?
I don't even really go for hot sauce because it kind of ruins the enjoyment for me. Nothing overly hot.
We've never tried it just for fun. I mean, I tried some of the, like a bunch of different sauces at B-Dubs.
Yeah, I've tried the blazing ones at B-Dubs. I think that's the hottest I've ever got because if I'm going to have wings, I don't want to ruin it by snotting myself and drooling, you know?
No, I hear what you're saying. I just curious your tolerance, how high you can go.
No, I don't go too high. I just enjoy my wings, the standard parm garlic and that kind of thing.
I like them hotter than 2 rats in an effing wool sock. I don't like any kind of hot food. We got to take a break. We'll do sports next.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
We were getting shut out by Soroka, and the genius David Popkins brings out a summer sausage to the dugout. And sure enough, me and Julian rubbed the sausage, and the rest is history after that. Looking forward, this sausage, hopefully it has a long lifespan. I don't think we're in any danger because this sausage has been good to us. We understand the time will come where we'll have to give into a new sausage.
I'm going to take a guess. Was that Kyle Farmer?
Ryan Jeffers.
Ryan Jeffers talking about the rally sausage.
It's taking over the world.
Maybe you'll see it if you go to the game tonight, because I don't think many of us can watch it on television. Twins Red Sox setting up for a 3-game series tonight, starting at Target Field. Okay. Rally sausage, dig it. But you'll probably have to go to the game in order to see it. Hey, the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks did us a big favor last night by closing out their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series in the National Basketball Association playoffs. They did us a favor. Getting those series out of the way has bumped the Wolves up to a better start time on Saturday. We'll tell you about that when Dinkus and other Dinkus show up. And also, coming up at 7:30, Dr. P's going to duck in a little earlier than normal. But we have something special at 7:30, something we've never tried before. Maybe a little closer to 8 a.m., actually. Something we've never tried before. Stay tuned for that. We're not afraid to experiment here, are we?
No, sexually or otherwise.
Sexually?
I don't like sexual experimentation, so you guys go ahead and do that.
I hope our listening audience are curious and enjoy experimenting on a Friday. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will join us in about a half hour. Like I said, and Dr. P. Don't go anywhere. Josh's news is coming up.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
We're having a real conversation as real estate investors.
New episodes available every day.
It's important to buy where it makes money and not necessarily where you want to travel to.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
The purpose of flipping is to create more cash so then you can reinvest into other types of properties.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
Hey,
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Sports betting website Penn Stakers ranked the 10 most attractive accents in the United States, and you betcha, Minnesota's on the list. We finished in the top 10.
Attractive accents.
Attractive accents. Minnesota right there at number 9.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't the most attractive accent in the Midwest. The general Midwestern accent, which a map accompanying the study places in Missouri, came in at number 6. Chicago ranked 8th, just above Minnesota. The Southern accent was rated the nation's hottest. 5 years ago, another study ranked Minnesota's accent the 3rd least sexy in the country. That was a stupid study. A linguistics expert traced the origins of the Minnesota accent, the long vowels and sentence structure, to the Norwegians, Swedes, and Germans who settled here in the late 1800s.
Friggin' Swedes. They drive me up a friggin' wall. Why is it, Cubby, that when a dude comes at you with a Southern accent, as soon as he turns his back, you go, this guy's a doofus. But when a lady comes at you with a Southern accent, we all backpedal. We can't handle the heat.
There is a difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Big time.
I had a girl that I worked with, and she had a Southern accent, and so I absolutely hate it now because she was one of the most annoying people ever. So she ruined it for me.
She ruined the Southern accent?
Yes.
You got to just find one with a Southern accent that's cool.
I think another part of it is that she lived there for like 3 years and came back with like this thick accent.
Oh, that's different. So she's from here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's frustrating, I think.
It's like, gosh, shut up.
Not as frustrating as a pack of Swedes.
True.
God.
A Tennessee man allegedly opened fire on a pizza delivery driver who had parked in the wrong driveway. And now he's being charged with aggravated assault.
Nothing close to what I thought would happen on a delivery. I'll say that. About to get killed right there. Attempted murder, in my opinion.
That's the driver, an 18-year-old kid named Caden Wheeler. He's in high school still. He told police he made the delivery to a house about 8 p.m. and then accidentally parked in the wrong driveway. So he just left his vehicle there and delivered the pizza to the correct house. But when he got back into his pickup, a man named Ryan Babcock ran at him and opened fire.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Babcock used a handgun to shoot the driver's side below the gas tank, the wheel on the driver's side, and right above the driver's side window. 3 of the 7 bullets hit Wheeler's vehicle. He's not a great shot. Babcock told cops that he thought someone was trying to break into his vehicle, so he grabbed his 9mm, ran outside, and began shooting. He said he shot at the vehicle in order to disable it.
I understand keeping your firearm and trying to be protected and protect your family, but that was a little... I don't think you should automatically just shoot at somebody because they pulled in. I don't think that's right.
While Wheeler's car wasn't marked, he was in a Domino's uniform and got out of the car holding a pizza delivery bag.
Man, we got some paranoid sumbitches out there, man.
Yeah, he definitely confused cops going, wait a minute, you just came out shooting, you didn't see he's wearing a uniform, he's got the bag?
I like how the kid was more or less came off by saying, I don't really get what's going on here.
A Cedar Rapids, Iowa man has been arrested after police say he flashed a handgun at a driver in a road rage incident. A criminal complaint says 36-year-old Sean Pettit, a heavy-set bald man, driving a Chevy Silverado. I don't know why they put that in there, but I felt like leaving it in there. I think maybe just to needle the guy a little bit.
Totally.
He flashed a handgun at the other driver after brake checking them. The caller told police the driver of the truck was driving extremely fast, well over the posted speed limit, and then weaving in and out of traffic, and again, that brake checking. Police later found the truck with the same license plate number and description. Then they found a handgun in the center console that the truck that Pettit was driving. As for his explanation for the road rage, well, he told police he was upset with, quote, the road rage that was taking place on the, quote, roadway. So he was going to put a stop to it by adding to it, apparently.
That's an interesting comment.
I'm so tired
Especially from a middle-aged, balding, heavy-set.
Yeah, balding.
Kind of a character.
Balding, heavy-set. He was charged with assault while displaying a dangerous weapon.
You know how it is, Josh. For some folks, every time they get behind the wheel, it is the beginning of a competition.
Yeah, it definitely appears that way at times. People just seem angrier behind the wheel. and more armed than they ever were before. It was a bad night for a Florida thief who apparently doesn't do any research. Just after 11 p.m. Saturday, a man rammed his pickup truck into the glass door of a jewelry store in Lake Mary. He then made his way inside, armed with a sledgehammer and carrying a duffel bag.
Sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, he seems like he knows what he's doing. When he glanced around his surroundings, however, he realized there was nothing to steal and then walked out about 10 seconds later empty-handed. All the jewelry was removed from the store shelves and displays just like they do every single night.
Anyone but him. I didn't approve him.
Oh, that's wrong. Here we go.
We don't leave anything outside. Nothing. There's nothing. You can take a candle, if you need to light your way out. But other than that, there's nothing left of value.
27-year-old Linnell Barnes III was eventually taken into custody after a pursuit from Orlando police. Later that night, he declined to speak with officers after being arrested.
I'm not saying a damn thing.
That's too embarrassing.
Too ashamed of myself. Oh, Linnell. So he made all that effort to bust in, and there wasn't a damn thing for him.
Nothing. There was nothing to steal.
His truck's probably all messed up now.
That sucks.
He didn't know how they operate. Is that common? Jewelry joints put everything away before they...
I guess I don't know. Well, you see enough of the video. Well, maybe they're open to smash and grabs and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah, there's plenty of that going around, so it can't be every joint.
A Chinese woman was recently sentenced to prison for kidnapping an 11-year-old girl whom she planned to raise into the perfect wife for her son. Her 27-year-old son.
Oh, wow. That's a gap.
The woman met the underage girl last year while on vacation. Convinced she would make a great bride for her much older son, she asked the girl's parents if she could have her.
Well, you don't know until you ask, right?
Did she offer cash? How did she?
Your children. I'd like to buy them.
Her unreasonable parents said no, and that set the crazed woman's backup plan into motion. She conspired with her 27-year-old son to kidnap the girl, and the next day they waited until the target was home and abducted her. 6 days after the kidnapping, the misguided mom was arrested, and her son turned himself in 4 days after that. The pair were sentenced to prison, 2 years for mom, 7 months for the son, in a sentence which actually caused general outrage on Chinese social media. The vast majority of comments claimed the mother and son duo got off way too easily for their crime. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're doing enough time for that.
That's one twisted mother and son relationship right there, Cubby.
No kidding. Oh, man. Can you imagine just finding out your mom did that and you had nothing to do with it? You're just a normal person?
Oh, I'd call the cops so fast it would make your head spin.
Yeah, me too. Ryan Gosling takes on the role of retired stuntman Colt Seavers in the movie version of The Fall Guy, now in theaters. After leaving the business a year earlier, battle-scarred stuntman Colt Seavers springs back into action when the star of a big studio movie suddenly disappears, and Colt finds himself ensnared in a sinister plot more dangerous than any stunt. Lee Majors and Heather Thomas, who starred in the original 80s television series, have cameos as police officers.
Oh, that's a lot of fun that they're going to be involved. Now, do they use the song anywheres in the movie, the original television theme song? Because it's one of the greatest television theme songs of all time.
I like that, too. I don't know.
I saw 45 minutes of it last night, and I can't tell you if they use that song or not.
What do you mean 45 minutes?
The projector kept breaking, and it just wasn't worth my time to keep hanging around, so I just got a refund and took off. I really enjoyed the 45 minutes, so I'm definitely going to go see the whole thing.
I can't wait.
So they didn't start with the theme?
I guess I would have to check out the theme. I've heard it once, but it's been a long time. When this movie came out, we played and listened to it. Or when it was announced, we played and listened to it, but I didn't immediately recognize it, no.
Jerry Seinfeld's new breakfast-focused comedy, Unfrosted, is streaming now on Netflix. In a time when milk and cereal ruled breakfast, a fierce corporate battle began over a revolutionary new pastry, the Pop-Tart. In addition to Seinfeld, it stars Hugh Grant, Melissa McCarthy, Peter Dinklage, Christian Slater, James Marsden, and more.
It's really a story of Pop-Tarts?
It's about Pop-Tarts, yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's an obsession of Jerry Seinfeld, loves Pop-Tarts.
Well, Pop-Tarts are fun. I haven't always found Jerry Seinfeld to be a hell of a lot of fun, but that's just me.
Streaming tonight on Netflix, the series premiere of John Mulaney Presents Everybody's in L.A., excluding Wapple's Bedroom, the fastest 2 minutes of action airs tomorrow on NBC and Peacock, the Kentucky Derby. Dua Lipa, who has a new album out today, takes on the hosting and musical duties of Saturday Night Live, and streaming Sunday night on Netflix. I look forward to this reaction. The greatest roast of all time, Tom Brady.
You gotta just turn it off.
Isn't Bill Belichick going to be one of the people roasting him?
That is possible, yes. Hosted by Kevin Hart and Jeff Ross. Some of the roasters include players like Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, Drew Bledsoe, and Randy Moss. Perhaps even his old head coach, Bill Belichick, as well.
This was inevitable, of course, because people they just can't let go of this douchebag. But just please, Josh, tell me you're going to ignore this.
I have no plans on watching.
Okay, good.
I'll let you know on Tuesday how it is.
I have to watch it because Kevin Hart is hosting it, and he's just so gosh darn funny. I don't like to miss anything that he does.
Bill Belichick will be talking like this.
I'd imagine he'll be hilarious. New music out this week includes Oh, did I get this wrong? Yes, I did get this wrong. Hold on a second. POD. I'm sorry, I wrote down the wrong band. POD's 11th studio album, Veritas. This is where I got confused. It's their first new album in 6 years, but it features guest appearances from Randy Blythe of Lamb of God and more. You can see the rest of what's new in rock this week, including a live Sunny Day Real Estate album and a new one from Better Than Ezra, on our notable new releases post.
Better Than Ezra?
On 90. Yeah, I guess they're still going. We used to play a lot of Better Than Ezra at the Edge.
Oh, does that bring me back to some miserable times?
You loved that time.
Oh, God.
You loved it. Henry Cavill will be 41 on Sunday. Hubba hubba. Green Day bassist Mike Dirnt, 52 tomorrow. Will Arnett, 54. Then today, Holly Flax on The Office. Amy Ryan is 56.
Better Than Ezra.
Yeah, better. There wasn't a lot out this week. It's been kind of slow the last few weeks.
It's not your friggin' fault.
I'm trying to promote the website.
I understand.
Better Than Ezra. POD. I don't mind POD. Sports broadcaster Greg Gumbel turns 78 today.
He's even saying, Better Than Ezra? They got a new record?
There's a benefit tomorrow at Shooter's Billiards Club and Cafe in Burnsville. It starts about 11, hosting the Fallen Heroes 8-ball pool tournament, benefiting the families of the Burnsville first responders killed in February. Shooter's Billiards is off of Cliff Road in Burnsville, and you can find more info on their website, shootersbilliardclub.com/events, or on 93x.com. We posted a link there as well. Awesome.
What a great idea, but I did have to yell at this guy on text because he said, hey, I heard Ashley plays pool, so, I thought maybe you guys would be interested in helping us out. And I wrote back, you heard Ashley plays pool. I said, I taught her everything she knows about billiards.
You wish.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Awesome thing to do for those families, the community, and those departments.
I've seen Ashley really pretend to play pool before.
I was disappointed by Ashley playing pool, but you said that was an off night for you.
Yeah, it was. It was before I started playing straight in, too. You learn a lot more when you play straight in.
You haven't learned dick. I'll show you next time.
Happy birthday to Hot Cheetos Finger Sheezes from Tonka Tig Welding Jesus. Happy birthday to Lee from your brother, Bad Timing Jesus. Happy early birthday to Mr. Wood from Mediocre Machinist Jesus. And happy early birthday to Snapback Harrison Smith, Jesus' smoking hot partner. May the 4th be with you, Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver
on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Certainly appears he crossed the line.
Oh, he hit that lady in the head?
Throws a ball in the stands.
Oh, he gone. He gonna get suspended. Man, he hit that lady in the head.
That'll be next.
Obviously, he was trying to hit that guy. It don't matter who he was trying to hit. You can't hit no lady, ever. Listen, I've done stupid stuff, and and I got criticized. That's just wrong. He gonna get suspended for that. And that's gonna be a good one, too, because he didn't do it once. He did it twice.
Yeah, no doubt.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
All right, here's the deal. Friday morning, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder are here like they always are. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Oh, can Randy hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
I can barely hear anybody. Yeah, that's planned that way.
We've had that problem before.
We don't want I can hear the music, but I can't hear anybody else.
Oh, that's pretty cool because it's Queensryche. Lucky you.
Yeah, you're the lucky one here.
You're missing out on Queensryche. And we have a special early visit this morning from Dr. P. Jesus. Dr. James Parnell is in studio. Good morning, James.
Hey, great to be here.
Nice having you here.
Finally here for sports. Yeah.
You're a big sports fan, very knowledgeable, right, Dr.
Oh,
P?
yeah. As my good friend Tony says, I am happy to talk about the sports ball. Let's talk about it.
You love the sports ball,
I love the sports ball. Or even the sports balls.
Now, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, do either one of you have a quick health-related question for the doctor? Because that's what he does. Do you have an ache or a pain or a funny smell coming out of somewhere?
Maybe we could talk about this because Dr. P was just saying off air, you're treating Brad's ED disorder?
Yeah, it's a little
Good thing I can't hear half of what Josh is saying because I'm not sure what he just
yeah, I have a little garage clinic that I treat erectile dysfunction. Yeah.
Anything dripping, leaking?
Oh, wow. Randy's got plenty of on-site nurses at the home. He doesn't need Dr. P's help.
Set. I don't, yeah.
You know, it is, so we have Dr. P on usually every other Monday. We're off this coming Monday, so you were nice enough to come in today. But it is a lot of genital stuff. So is that disproportionate to what you'd normally see in your practice, or is it because, you know, you don't want to go to the doctor for something embarrassing maybe, and that's embarrassing to some people, including myself. So do you hear that more just for that reason here?
I do think it's disproportionately high here, probably for that very reason. Yes, people are. I mean, it's funny when you think about it. They're reluctant to go to the doctor, but they are more comfortable texting a radio station. I mean, it's anonymous for the most part. So, yeah, in the clinic, it's a smaller percentage of genital-related questions.
It does seem, Nick, wouldn't you say it's bikini area stuff we get the most?
Absolutely.
More so than anything.
And I think it's because our listening audience is very promiscuous.
I think that's part of it. And they know that we love genitals. You know, we're obsessed.
Right?
It's always
the right
fun
place to send a message.
It's sure. Fun to talk about. It is. Way more fun than, boring. I got a tooth that's But I think our listening audience, they go out on the weekends and they have a damn good time and they catch stuff.
They do.
It happens.
They like to have fun.
They do.
You heard the audio there as we started the break. Patrick Beverley's going to be in some trouble. His season's over. But, Pat Bev is a riot. He's so much fun to watch, but every once in a while, he takes it a little too far. Last night he's hanging out on the Milwaukee Bucks bench as they're about ready to be eliminated by the Indiana Pacers. I don't know what a fan was doing in the second row there with a basketball. I don't know if he got it as a souvenir. He brought it to the game to be autographed or something. I don't know how this fan got his hands on a basketball. But Pat Beverley's over there on the bench, and he's going, hey, man, give me the ball. Throw it over here. And when the guy does throw it over there, Beverley fires it back at the guy with a lot of heat behind it. I mean, really, he could have broken a guy's thumb or something the way.
It wasn't a guy.
He threw it twice. He threw it at he hit a lady first.
Oh, I only saw it happen one time.
It was 2 times. He hit it twice.
So explain the process to me. Who threw him the ball?
I'm wondering if the ball may have inadvertently ended up behind the bench, and then Beverley was asking for the ball, to come back, and the kid just gently tossed it back. And then he fired it right back at him. And
I don't know. Maybe I was on the worst website ever, or I'm having a breakdown or something. But to me, this looked like this.
The first time he threw it in the crowd, he hit a kid or a woman or something.
Right.
And then it ended up in the hands of the guy you're talking about. And the guy just gently tossed it back to him, and then he fired it at the guy.
Oh, okay. The website I looked at only had the interaction between Pat and the grown man.
Obviously,
all right.
There had to have been some conversation or something preceding all this that we don't know about or didn't see.
Oh, I don't think there necessarily needs to be a conversation when it comes to Pat Beverley.
Oh, I think there needs to be if you're going to do something like that.
It doesn't matter what the conversation was. You don't do that.
No, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying there had to be something.
I don't know. I think Pat Bev can just snap for no real reason. And sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes it's not.
This was not.
Expect a fine, a suspension, whatever. That was silly.
Well, to check out his podcast. I'll be interested to see what he has to say about that.
My friggin' wife is obsessed with his podcast.
He's a funny dude.
It is entertaining at times. She'll show me clips of it, and I like the guy. I wish he would. I wish he was able to get past these little freakouts that he has. Because
then after the game in the locker room, I'm not sure anybody saw this too, but he refused to talk to a reporter after the game last night because she didn't subscribe to his podcast.
That's so pathetic.
He kicked her out of the little media scrum.
Yeah,
is that right? I missed that.
I just saw this now.
That's funny.
It's just dumb.
Yeah, he's got a issue.
Yeah, he does have
And issue?
Well, and you wonder if part of this isn't to try to get people to listen to his podcast.
Yeah. You never know. Like I said, I really am a fan. But that was pretty chicken-ass what he did last night.
It was.
You mentioned your wife a second ago?
Yes, I did.
So she texted me earlier. You had mentioned how much you like to watch the Japanese female curling team.
Oh, I did. When they were in the Olympics, I couldn't take my eyes off of them.
And you said she's busted you, and she walks in. You're watching this again.
Yes.
Right? So she sent me a little video, and I got to say, I understand.
Oh, man.
She said the audio's really good, that I should look for the audio.
Oh, that'll correct any erectile dysfunction, Dr. P, if you watch the Japanese women's curling team.
Maybe prescribe this to people like Brad who can't get an erection anymore.
Oh, come on. No.
Yeah.
I'm having phone issues, but I'm not having issues with anything else.
That would be a different strategy, but I will try to
I think
incorporate
that's
that.
code for having a problem.
Yeah, sounds like
Having
something
phone
somebody who
issues.
does have boner issues would say.
A little D-mobile down there.
That's so funny.
I was saying earlier,
Not so mobile.
we Timberwolves fans should send a congratulatory email or something along those lines to the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks for closing out their series last night, because that means Saturday night's Game 1 against the Denver Nuggets starts at 6 o'clock.
And it's the only game of the night. So they are the game on Saturday.
Primo beer drinking, hell raising,
Yeah,
6
perfect.
o'clock start. And I'll tell you what, I watched quite a bit of both of those ball games last night. I paid closest attention to the Knicks and 76ers. That was a great basketball
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
God, that was a dramatic
It's been a great
effing-
series,
that whole series was pretty
Yes.
good. I watched a lot of those games.
That's what I heard, Randy Shaver. I didn't catch a lot of it. I caught some of it, but last night was great. That Jalen Brunson for the Knicks, that dude is tough.
Yeah.
Well, and, Philadelphia goes into New York to extend it to this Game 6 by Tyrese Maxey having an incredible game, and then Brunson turns around and does it back to him in Philadelphia last night. It was great.
Well, those three guys. So there's three guys on that Knicks team that were all college teammates at Villanova, and I know. I mean, I haven't asked him personally, but I know for a fact that Tibbs wanted those three guys together because those guys are tough as nails. Those three guys. That DiVincenzo,
Yes.
and I can't think of the other guy's name. Hit the big shot. Josh Hart.
Josh Hart.
Yep.
What the hell's that? The dude's got the most Italian name of all time. What the hell's
DiVincenzo.
No, but the first name too. I know.
Starts with a D.
God dang it. He was great. You're right. Knicks and Pacers win last night. Wolves start at 6 tomorrow night on TNT.
Dante
DiVincenzo. That is a cool name. What do we need to know? Well, you guys tell us, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder. You got any ideas on how the Wolves can beat the Nuggets in the 7-game series? Most of us didn't think they could beat the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. I think they've got to, number one, earn at least a split in the 2 games in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, you're not going to be able to shut down Jokic. You have to find a way to slow down the people around him. Murray being, I think, the most serious contender in that department. And he's banged up. He's not 100% healthy.
Jamal Murray?
Yes.
No, he's not.
That's maybe an advantage the Wolves can find. But the matchup with Jokic is one that I don't know. The Wolves just can't win that matchup. They have to find a way to beat the Nuggets and allow Jokic to do his thing, but shut down the other people on that lineup.
I think there is a way to shut Jokic down completely. We have a doctor in studio. It's Dr. James Parnell. Dr. P, what is the most susceptible lower body part that the Wolves could mangle for Jokic and he'll quit the game? Would it be the Achilles?
You want him to quit the entire game?
Yeah.
Not just sit out the rest of the series?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Achilles, it's hanging out there. I mean, you just need like a knife or a sword.
Oh, my God.
You don't need anything that dramatic.
No.
Like maybe just a hammer or something?
With the state Pat Bev is in, maybe they should just get him back.
I know, that's true. You could fireball right off the Achilles. I mean, honestly, that patellar tendon is, it's a vulnerable spot too, just like the coach, right?
Yeah, just Mike Conley.
Do it.
Yeah,
just Conley.
You throw Mike Conley into a man's knees, and
right. I mean, that's a big guy hitting your knee.
Yeah.
One other thing I think they have to do is have short memories, because this is going to be a long series.
Yes,
they're not going to get swept, and they're not going to sweep them. If they have a bad quarter that costs them a game, they can't let it linger into the next game.
Good point, Brad Ryder.
I also think the Wolves bench, I mean, the starters across the board for both teams, I think, are rock solid. I think the Wolves bench is better this year than they were the last time they played this team. And I think Denver's bench has not been quite as good. So, again, in close games, that kind of thing matters. And I think the Wolves have a definite opportunity here. I mean, you're going to play Denver sooner or later. So play them now while you're hot. It's that old adage, it's not who you play, but when you play them.
Word.
And I think this is the best time for the Wolves to play someone coming off a sweep of a very good Phoenix team, having all sorts of confidence. Why not? As Tim Connolly said the other day, why not us?
If they can beat Denver, they're a much better basketball team than any of us even thought possible.
Yes, I agree.
Even a jock sniffer like me that follows them all year long.
Well, if they beat Denver, they're down to the Final Four, so it gets pretty serious then.
Charles Barkley said this is going to be big boy basketball, referring to the Wolves-Nuggets series. Big grown man basketball is how he described it.
Will the national broadcast have the halftime interviews with coaches?
I would imagine so, yeah.
They'll do the head coach, yeah.
Oh, because, Nick, what's the
Mike Inori?
Yeah, dude, that guy is of the Timberwolves. He is so funny. And I was unfamiliar as a bandwagon fan. I wasn't aware until the playoffs here. And a few people had texted me, like, you got to watch this guy. He's great. And I did notice that. He's very funny.
He's very clever.
You could tell he prepares.
Yes, he does.
Like, he comes up with something. He's ready to go. So that added something to it for me. So you think maybe we'll see...
It'll be the head coach. They do the head coach one after the first quarter and one after the third quarter.
I would think you'll see a little bit of Mike Inori on television, no question about it. So Chris Finch apparently is making good progress. You know, his leg snapped off the other night. He was walking around practice yesterday with crutches. You know.
He'll be there.
Better than a wheelchair, I guess.
He'll be there. He'll be seated, but he'll be there.
Yeah, I think they'll end up finding a place for him either on the first row, press row there, or behind the bench. I think he'll be within shouting distance of the team and the coaches.
Sure.
Maybe for an intimidation factor, they bring him on one of those Hannibal Lecter things and prop him up right there on the bench.
Put him in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Put him in one of those money machines or something. You know, no one can get in there. No one can hurt him.
Or, you know, Ozzy Osbourne, when he performs now, he's got that something holding him up. Did you see him? Was it the Super Bowl? I can't remember. He performed at some... maybe it was a Pro Bowl. I don't remember. He performed somewhere, and he's got this thing that holds him up, basically.
And then wasn't it Dave Grohl who went out and
had a throne?
Yeah, he had a throne.
Mm-hmm. Throne wheelchair, wasn't it?
Yeah, moved around and shot flames.
Yeah,
I didn't see this. Ozzy has something. Well, I can believe it.
It takes him 10 years to get to the stage.
Can you picture this, Nick? Have you seen a guitar stand?
Yes.
Where it's got the thing that holds the neck. It kind of looked like that, basically, that was holding him up.
I understand. I did not know that. I haven't seen Ozzy in a while.
Let me see if I can find it.
Back to the National Basketball Association playoffs. You know, now Indiana will face. I neglected to mention this. Now Indiana will face the New York Knicks, and that's a rivalry that I really enjoyed back in the mid to late '90s. My God, that was fun. Maybe if they can put something together similar to that, we're going to have a good time.
Reggie Miller.
Oh, was that magical when Reggie Miller hit those, three three-pointers in 9 seconds.
Reggie Miller in the Garden, that was unbelievable.
He gets in Spike Lee's face and says, "Shut up, dickhead."
This guy's hands around his neck, like doing the "you guys choked" move.
I loved it.
So you want to watch a building with some electricity? Watch one of those games at Madison Square Garden now that we're this deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming on cork, Brad Ryder.
Gosh. Yeah.
The electricity in the building.
You got to give Tibbs credit.
We barely have that.
I mean, he's gone to New York and he's done a really good job.
Well, and one of their best players is out.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Julius. Yeah. Is he coming back?
He's been out for a long time. I don't
if they get far enough, he might, but likely no.
Okay. Yeah, he's a great player.
He's coming back this year.
And back to that Wolves-Nuggets series, you know, obviously, I'm dialed in. Especially what I want to see is that prick Ryan Saunders get what he deserves.
Oh, come on. Now you're just trying to get me going, man.
You used to like Ryan Saunders.
Now you're just trying to get me going.
When did this change?
I want to see him lose.
Oh, come on. He's got one thing the rest of the Wolves don't have. That's a championship ring, man.
You actually like that guy?
I do.
Come on.
He's a good friend of mine.
I'm joking, you friggin' oversensitive bastards. I love the kid. I loved his dad. I'm joking. Ryan Saunders is one of the most adorable and friendly sumbitches of all time. You guys are suckers. Just absolute.
They've got another assistant on their bench that used to be a Wolves assistant too, David Adelman.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
David runs the offense and Ryan runs the defense.
And when I was watching the Sixers game last night and watching their sad asses walk off the court, which was very pleasurable for me.
Brian Gates.
Pardon me?
Brian Gates was one of their assistants.
I don't know Brian Gates.
Oh, he used to coach for the Wolves too.
Oh, he's got kind of the turkey neck?
Kind of the dopey look.
Yes, okay, I recognized him, but not only did I see Doug West, but did I see Bobby Jackson on their bench?
You did.
You did.
Okay. I knew they were assistant
How about
coaches.
that?
Doug West and Bobby
great?
Jackson. What a great couple of characters.
Yes.
All right. What else?
There's all kinds of Wolves Nuggets connections here. I mean, you could go even deeper. And Calvin Booth, their GM, used to work for the Wolves when Tibbs was here too.
Calvin Booth.
Yep.
The Twins and Red Sox are setting up for a 3-game series starting tonight at Target Field, 7 o'clock game time. We're not able to watch it on TV, right?
Not if you have Comcast.
Nothing's changed?
Nope.
Nothing's changed.
Fair enough.
Now that they're dug in, I think it'll be a while.
All right.
Oh, you do, really? Oh, shoot. I was thinking they'd maybe figure this out pretty quick. You don't think so?
No. Now that they've gotten to this point, I think it'll be a while.
The boys are humping a 10-game win streak.
Thanks to the White Sox.
Can't control who you play, Randy.
I thought it was more the
They've
rally
taken
sausage.
advantage of the schedule. You got to give them credit.
It's the rally sausage, Randy. Where you been?
We were getting shut out by Soroka, and the genius David Popkins brings out a summer sausage to the dugout. And sure enough, me and Julian rubbed the sausage, and the rest is history after that. Looking forward, this sausage, hopefully it has a long lifespan. I don't think we're in any danger because this sausage has been good to us. We understand the time will come where we'll have to give into a new sausage.
Dude, there are a bunch of sausage touchers over there.
There's a few key words we could have put in odd places, but we did it because we're mature. We avoided it.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, speaking of that hitting coach, David Popkins, remember a couple seasons ago when he got pissed in the dugout and was hollering at an umpire, and we all thought, okay, that's a dude you don't want to mess with?
Yeah, absolutely.
God dang. Have you seen him at the gym, Josh?
At the gym?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
God, that
just
dude.
Simply because I don't go.
That David Popkin, he looks like you don't. He could come up with a rally idea, and I'd go along with it just out of fear.
It wasn't too long, prior to this huge winning streak here, their 10-game streak, that people were texting in saying, fire the hitting coach. You got to get rid of the hitting coach.
Oh, yeah.
But we wouldn't have the rally sausage.
We wouldn't have the rally sausage, and someone would get their ass kicked.
I'd feel like, you fire him.
Yeah, you go ahead and fire that dude.
I'm not going to fire him.
Are they still using the same?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same one, dude.
Oh, yeah.
As a doctor.
Do not let that package open.
No kidding. I mean, I think it's going to be ugly, right?
Or maybe they have the cure
everyone
for
in the
something.
stadium will get sick. Or something.
Yes.
No, I think Josh is right. I think whatever grows on that rally sausage by July, I bet you could cure something with it.
Yeah, it's obviously used its powers for good so far.
It is a powerful sausage. I mean, the sausage is just pretty weird stuff. There's all sorts of things in there. So maybe there is some magical element.
It's like the perfect combination of gore at this point.
If I had that sausage, I would rub it.
Get in line.
Isolate that.
For luck. Isolate that one.
They're going to come up with the antidote for something.
I think so, too.
I mean, that's, penicillin grew from mold. So, truly, that's where penicillin comes from. So, yes, maybe it'll be the cure to the Twins making it to the playoffs and winning the World Series again.
That's what a rally sausage is for, to win.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to make our way over to something new here on the program. Something that we hope we can squeeze into the mix at least semi-regularly, if not, oh well. But we have high hopes that it can. We're calling this bit, Who Dis?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Wait, hang on. I got another call. Who this?
Who dis? What's going on is we got a real big shot on the telephone right now, and hopefully he can hear us. Someone we very much admire, someone who has reached great heights in their chosen profession, someone known by God worldwide. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, we know who it is that's waiting there on the telephone. We know who dis, but the two of you do not. So kind of like the old 20 questions game show back in the day, we'd like the two of you to ask yes or no questions to our guest until you can name them. Now, it's not a competition between the two of you, although I'm sure you'll find a way.
I'll make it one.
Well, sure it is. Why wouldn't it be?
You'll find it. You're supposed to collectively, I'm sure you'll find a way.
Well, but whoever guesses it wins, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No, because
It's just a fun game.
you'll be using each other's questions to aid in your answer, so can't you be a team for one day?
Randy doesn't want help.
I don't need no damn help.
Randy's a professional interviewer. I think he'll have an advantage here.
We'd like you to toggle back and forth with yes or no questions. And when it's your turn and you think you know who dis is on the telephone, then you can make a guess.
So if we get the guess wrong, did that matter? Or
No, we keep going.
You just keep going.
We're going to do 20, like 20 questions.
Okay.
All you'll hear from our guest is yes or no. Maybe we'll allow them to elaborate a little bit on a question if we think you need help. And like Josh said, we'll put a lid on it after 20 questions and have our
So we
guest.
each get 10. Is that the idea?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's my math.
Jesus Christ, Randy.
I'm just wanting to
Sounds like a question that I would ask.
I have a hunch before I even ask a question who this might be.
I'd love. I personally, well,
I do.
speaking for myself, I'd like you to guess. I mean,
I'd like to ask the first question.
Just wait. Brad Ryder, keep it in your friggin' pants. Don't kill it before we officially begin the...
I'd be very surprised.
Who tipped off Brad?
I know. I would be.
I want to know.
No one did. I've been thinking about this, and I have a good feeling I know who it might be.
Okay. He's been... well, because we did give the boys a... We'll put a lid on it after 20 questions and have our guest introduce himself or herself.
This is called insider trading.
No. If you know who it is, I would be a little suspicious.
It's not a competition.
Is their voice disguised?
No. We do have that technology. It's just not hooked up.
Okay.
Randy, well, first off, I know our guest is listening. I just want to make sure that they can hear us properly. If you can hear us properly, bark once.
Rough.
That sounds disguised to me.
I think I might have to change my guess.
I had to do that because we've been having so many friggin' technical difficulties around here. Wapple, get a hold of yourself.
Oh, my gosh.
We've got a world-renowned guest on the phone. You're over there. You're a puddle.
He's having giggle fits.
I think when people realize who it is, they're going to think it's so cool that he barked on the radio.
Yeah.
Randy, age before beauty. Is it okay if Randy goes first, Brad?
No, let Brad go first.
Okay.
Brad wanted to go
he's so
first.
confident.
Only yes or no questions. Our guest, who dis, will only answer yes or no. And again, we might leave a little wiggle room for elaboration if we have to. So, Brad, you're the one who's got a boner already for this.
Well, wait a second. I thought 20 minutes ago I didn't have one of those.
That's what's shocking. It's secure.
You've been cured.
You're welcome.
He or she's going to hang up before we even start. Brad Ryder, our first yes or no question for our special guest as part of our new gimmick called Who Dis.
Do you have anything to do with the Timberwolves TV broadcast? No.
Okay.
I guess I'm not going to be guessing that.
You don't know so much after all, do you, Brad Ryder?
Denied.
Randy Shaver.
Are you a former Minnesota Twins player?
No.
Okay. No Twins, no Wolves affiliation.
The voice sounds just like Brad.
Brad Ryder.
Did you play hockey? Yes.
All right. Nice one, Brad Ryder.
Yeah, that was good.
How about you, ass man?
Did you play hockey for a Minnesota professional sports team?
Yes.
We got. Is that 4 questions down?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
4.
That's 4.
Did you play hockey this season for another professional team?
No.
All right. Randy Shaver. Didn't play this year for a professional. Right. Okay.
No. Did you play for the Minnesota North Stars?
Yes.
Brad Ryder. Can you put it away, or you got another question?
Did you win the Hobie Baker Award?
No.
That's a good question,
That was
Brad.
a really good
If I had gotten a different answer, I obviously would have known.
Randy Shaver's so Iowegian, he's never even heard of the Hobie Baker
I
Award.
know what the Hobie Baker.
You've never even heard of it.
Settle down.
Randy Shaver is next. And so how many questions are we now? 6, 7?
This will be the 8th.
This will be the 8th question for Randy.
So a few listeners are texting, and they've got the answer.
Are they texting?
Yeah.
Let me look
Yep.
real before you answer. Before you ask your question, Randy.
Okay.
There's some wrong ones in here, but there's a couple that got it.
There's some wrong ones, but there's a couple. Randy Shaver, go ahead.
Okay. Were you on the North Stars roster the year they left?
Yes.
Ooh.
So I'm getting excited over
I
here.
know, same here.
This is fun.
Brad Ryder.
Do
Randy.
you coach high school hockey in the state of Minnesota right now?
No.
You suck, Ryder. Randy Shaver, man, you guys, you got it kind of surrounded here.
Yeah. Did you play? Were you a defenseman with the North Stars that season?
No.
Not a defenseman.
Oh, I think I got it. Do you currently do some work for the Minnesota Wild?
Yes.
Mike Modano.
Mike Modano.
How cool is this?
That was really well done, Randy and Brad. You did great. Welcome to the Half-Assed Morning. Well, although this is the second time we've had you on, I think, Mike Modano, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Yeah, that didn't take long.
No. Were you kind of worried that it would take forever and like, oh, Jesus, no one knows and no one remembers, that kind of a thing?
No, my tea time's not till 10, so I figured you'd have it done by then.
Question 57.
If I could have asked one more question, I would have said, is your wife a better golfer than you?
That would have been no.
Okay.
Oh, really? She's not, huh?
She's a really good golfer.
Yeah.
What the hell do you know about his wife, Brad Ryder? Don't come off.
No, I just know she used to play professional golf, that's all.
Well, we really appreciate you being our first guest for this this brand new gimmick we got around here called Who Dis. Mike Modano, I mean, we're all huge fans. We talk about the old North Star teams a lot on this program. Tell us everything you got going on these days, Mike.
Oh, boy. Well, we're coming up to our first year here living back in town, so we've had a great year being back home. Kind of where it all started. The kids are all kind of fitting in and loving life in Plymouth and school and sports, and being back involved in the community here has been great. Been loving it. So it's just been busy. We've got 5 little ones, so we're at rinks and fields and tennis courts and everything else you can name every other night. So we're busy. So, but it's been great. We always thought we'd come back to raise our kids here in the Midwest, particularly in Minnesota, and so it's been great. Been loving it.
What's the age range, Mike, of your kids?
Oh boy, we're in the thick of it here. We got a 3-year-old girl, 5 boy, 7 girl, and twins, 9 boy girl.
Wow!
Fantastic.
So you were, more physical exertion than even in your hockey playing days.
Oh, physical and mental.
Yes.
More mental than physical, I can tell you that.
For sure.
Suppose I neglected the mental part of the game. Yeah, the mental part of raising all those children.
That's a challenge. Trying to negotiate with 9 and 7-year-olds is it's demanding.
Josh is right. We did have quite a few people text in and guess. And you'd probably be annoyed listening in on this program the way we. It's usually my fault. I fire up the Wayback Machine a lot and talk about the North Star teams back when you were playing, and we have a riot. What great times they were, especially, of course, 1991. Just an absolute riot.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty magical. I mean, we a lot of people here obviously still, I mean, are big North Star fans, and remember a lot of those memories, particularly like you're talking 91. It was just one of those springs that you just never imagined that would happen. I mean, we just were one of the worst teams in the league throughout the year, and somehow we managed to win, I think, 1 or 2 games of our last 3 or 4 of the season just to get in. And, so then you're playing the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, then the Stanley Cup champs from the previous year, and then Pittsburgh. So it was, I mean, the Met was rocking, and, the town was going crazy. Awesome. It was just great time. I mean, even 91, 92, just in Minneapolis, the amount of sports that were going on, the Final Four, the Super Bowl, the U.S. Open, the Twins and Kirby Puckett, and 91. So it was a great year to be in the Twin Cities those particular 2 years. But, that ride we were on, boy, those 2 months of playoff hockey was, we still talk about it to this day with guys that I played with and fans who were there and followed it, and just thought it was pretty magical.
Can remember Mike Modano walking into the locker room as what were you, 18, 19 years old?
Yep.
Golly.
The hair was unbelievable.
No kidding.
It was gorgeous.
It sure was.
I know. I miss those hair days.
You're still doing all right.
It's not quite the same anymore.
And just for the record, I didn't turn my back on the Stars when they left Minnesota. I continued to follow the Dallas Stars. A lot of folks thought I was, crazy, or you should just completely shut them out of your lives. I mean, that was the roster I was familiar with, so why wouldn't I continue to follow that club? And so I was ecstatic for you guys in 1999 as well. Just absolutely ecstatic. I thought, because, you were on the club, Richard Matvichuk, Darian Hatcher. I'm trying to remember the guys that were on that 99 roster that played here in Bloomington.
Yeah, there wasn't many left. I mean, after we got down there, Neil Broughton got traded over to New Jersey, and they won the Stanley Cup that year. So, Neil was happy about that. I'm sure he would have loved to have been a part of that team that we had there. But yeah, I think it was Hatch and Matty and Sean Chambers.
Oh yeah.
Craig Ludwig.
Oh damn, yeah, he was a handsome guy.
Yeah,
Craig Ludwig.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep, he had some good hair. And we had a few Minnesota kids. Langenbrunner was on there. God, we just cast the characters, and then we just filled some holes with some great players. We kind of lured Brett Hall away from St. Louis and Eddie Belfour from Chicago, and made some great trades and this and that. But we discussed that too with some guys that, if we would have had those teams and we would have stayed in Minnesota, what this team would have been, this league, the town would have just been going crazy for hockey. It's neat to imagine what it would have been like if we had that team and stayed in Minnesota and had those runs up until 2002. I mean, it was quite it was about 7-8 years of just a great, phenomenal team, and so it was a little different vibe and environment down in Dallas and Texas. But right now they're pretty thriving. I mean, the whole southern belt of the teams that came in the league in the early '90s and are all been doing well and won Stanley Cups, and so the game of hockey is in pretty good hands right now.
Yeah. So what's your role right now, Mike, with the North Star or with the Wild?
Well, it's a lot of work to do with the current roster guys. I mean, there's a handful of young guys, so I think it's just more just being a soundboard for those guys. There's a lot going on. Their lives are changing. It's demanding. There's a lot of stress and pressure on these young kids to come in and kind of help, turn things around and have a great career. And some of it's just more of those just talking them down a little bit. I think sometimes you get wound up and you get so strung out on some stress and pressure that it affects your game. And I was exactly like that coming in here at 18, 19. You're very you're drafted so high, but the catch is you're going to the worst team in the league. So you have to work through some things and get acclimated to the game, the travel, the speed of the game. So sometimes it's just more or less just telling them and explaining to them it's not as bad as they think it is. It's just just got to hang in there and control the can control. It's just more of a, extra set of eyes and ears. Sometimes they feel a little bit more comfortable talking to me because I've been through a lot of experiences and a lot of situations that, could maybe just enlighten them a little bit and kind of get their mind off some things that they just can't control sometimes.
We have Marcus Foligno of the Wild on this program every other week. Was this our first year with Marcus Foligno?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Marcus joined us every other week throughout this past hockey season, and he was such a blast to talk to. And he's a veteran player. And, he had some funny takes on the difference between the young kids and the veteran players like himself. What do you see out of the young kids that's vastly different than when you came into the league?
Oh, God.
Is the list too long to cover, or what?
Technology is one of them. Back then we just, you had an answering machine at home, and somehow, some way, we always ended up at the same place. We'd meet up, and you check your answer machine, and no one had phones or technology or social media, obviously, or the internet. So there's you're forced to kind of be with each other and have great relationships and be around your friends, and somehow, some way, we end up at Fletcher's on a Saturday afternoon at 4:00. No cell phones and no planning or anything, but the game has changed. There's a lot of money involved, a lot of demand to play well, and these kids are so athletic and so good. They come in, the nutrition's changed, the preparation for games, the training, just the medical and the mental side of the whole game is, sports in general across the board has changed. And so there's a lot of demand to play well. And back then with our guys, when we were young, it was just, you're coming in and just having a good time and enjoying yourself. It's a great life, and you were lucky to be able to do what we do. And, but there's a lot of demand nowadays. It's a lot of money. A lot of things are happening. So, the level of expectation has certainly grown. So, but Marcus, I love Marcus. He's a great guy. I was a big fan of his dad, Mike Foligno. He played in Detroit when I was growing up with the Red Wings. So I know his dad very well and his brothers and stuff. So they're a bit of the last little bit of the throwbacks left in the game. There's not too many of them left. So, but he's a solid dude, and he's kind of the pulse of that team right now.
Man, I bet you boys did some damage at Fletcher's back in the day. Mike Modano, that was where Brad Ryder might have been there, and that's when Brad just poured his drink in the garbage and he left. You know what I mean?
I would have if I'd have seen you guys walking in.
What's the point of even hanging? Here comes Modano and the damn North Stars. I'm just going to pour my drink in the garbage, I
got no chance.
Get in my lifted Jeep and get the hell out of here.
Kind of back when the Mall of America opened, too, and there were some places out there that you guys probably frequented.
Did you just...
Mike sounds exhausted, just
hung over, just remembering it.
It's probably good there's no cell phone videos of those gatherings at Fletcher's.
There would have been a lot of damage control back then.
Yeah. You needed a good PR person back then.
Oh, a handful of them, yeah, for sure. That would have been trouble. But the Long Island iced teas, and then we tie up boats with Ken Herbeck down on the Big Island. I was like, this is a good time.
I remember witnessing a couple things Chuck Knobloch did at a place in the early 90s that I'll get into some other time too, but oh my gosh.
Mike Modano.
Well, I think one of my favorite nights was after our finals. We got into the summer, and the Twins are having a phenomenal year that year and end up winning, but I think later in the summer, July, because I knew Chuck at the time. I knew a little bit of Scott Erickson and Rich Gannon, and we're all kind of hanging out and having a good time. And we all went to an Ozzy Osbourne concert at Target Center in summer of '91. And oh my God, we just had such a ball. And we went downstairs and met Ozzy, and oh God!
Now you got 5 kids.
Oh God!
Man, that window has slammed shut, hasn't it?
I know.
But it's a beautiful thing.
Diary.
It's a beautiful thing, Mike Modano, because you friggin' lived it.
You survived.
Memories are good. I don't need photos or videos. It's all in the mind somewhere. But yeah, I should have kept the diary. I tell myself that the last 30 years, I should have kept the diary.
You live to tell the tale.
Experience down, and they're a lot of fun.
I remember seeing you. I remember seeing you at an AC/DC concert back in the day. And god dang, there's Mike Modano. We'll let you go, Mike. We know you got a tea time and whatnot, but honestly, it really does mean a hell of a lot to all of us older hockey fans. It means so much to have you back in town and working for the Wild. It doesn't matter how much time goes by; it still means a lot to have a guy like you in town. So we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, we'll talk again. But thanks very much for taking the time and helping us out this morning.
You got it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, too. It's good to be back, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
That'd be great. You bet. One of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Playing Who Dis.
That was fun.
I hope we can squeeze another one of these in. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get a guy like Mike Modano on the telephone.
Sure. That was a great start.
Yeah. But it was a fun start. I hope we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
That was a hell of a deal.
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be a sports person either.
No.
We're
working on a whole bunch of stuff.
Randy, you don't have to tell us that. We've been calling everybody.
Yeah, Brad's ex-girlfriend. She's in the mix.
Yeah, we'll find out the song.
Finally.
Did he cross the mind of either of you earlier in the questions at all? Or
Yes.
No, not until... Boy, which one was it? After I asked if they coached high school hockey, then I kind of figured it might be him. Because I know, Nick, I know you were talking about reconnecting with him a few weeks ago.
Ran into him in Wayzata.
And that's when I thought it might be him.
Yeah. What a cool dude. Cool dude. All right, we might as well move on. Dr. P over here is getting a little bored.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, honestly, it's cool to hear him talk about that. That was before I lived in Minnesota, but I don't know, that era of sports, and I don't know, life was just simpler back then.
That
really,
early 90s. Just like he was saying, there was so much going on, and teams were good, and we had the Super Bowl and the Final Four, and the North Stars were good, and the Twins were winning.
Open,
and
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Brad was
season was unbelievable.
I was in my 20s, and
well, there were simpler, easier, way more fun times than what we're in the middle of right now. I mean, I'll argue that up and down. We were lucky guys to be that age during that time period. Brad's doing rails at the MC Hammer show. Randy is, how many women did he have going?
I was already working 8 years here by that time.
But you had just a bunch of like side pieces, right?
Oh, no. Of course not.
We got to get going. Thank you, Randy and Brad. Nice work on
fun.
Who Dis.
Yeah, nice job.
We'll talk to you on Tuesday. We're taking Monday off.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Randy and Brad. We'll come back. If you have a health question for Dr. P. Jesus, 651-989-9393. You know how the routine goes. If you got something you want to ask the doctor about, go ahead. We'll be back with Dr. P. Jesus next on the program.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Guest star Sarah Carter as Alicia Baker, although I didn't really work with her a lot. But Tom did, and they had some real big smoochy scenes.
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Could there be any more sex? What was a 3-page makeout scene that just kept going? Good Lord, we get it. They have chemistry.
Jump in now or catch up on any of the past seasons of Talkville on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi, everybody!
Hi, Dr. P. Jesus. Welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X.
Well, hell yeah. It's Friday. We're creeping up on a 3-day weekend, and we got one of our closest bros to help us out in studio this morning by the name of Dr. James Parnell. Dr. P. Jesus. Text in if you have a question for Dr. P. 651-989-9393. Hello again, James, and thank you.
Yeah, fun to be here on a Friday, riding it out with you guys. This is great.
Yeah, a little different.
First time you've come in a little early and kind of hung out. What do you think? You want to work for no money? Regularly?
I don't think I would have much to contribute, but it was a lot of fun, actually.
No, you're right. He probably wouldn't have much.
I really would not. It would be.
Well, maybe there's an injury, like a big sports injury.
I could just be waiting for that, I guess. Yeah.
When the Timberwolves coach Chris Finch got hurt, you probably could have commented on his injury.
No, I thought about bringing that up earlier because it's interesting at Randy Shaver's pickleball tournament in January or February. There was a player who suffered a ruptured patellar tendon.
Is that
on the court? Yeah,
that poor guy. That looked bad.
No, and that's the first time I had seen that. Yeah, I mean, people do their Achilles and hamstrings all the time, but yeah, it's pretty brutal.
He looked miserable. Nick was cheering for that and really wanted that to happen. He was hoping that would happen.
I'm not ashamed to admit that when I found out you guys were going to a Randy Shaver sponsored pickleball event, I was hoping for a cool story of someone mangling themselves.
Yeah. It happened.
And it happened.
A young guy too. There appeared to be.
Chris Finch suffered the same injury when Mike Conley went shooting into his knees. Looked very painful.
Yeah, and I didn't actually see the video of that because it has to just obviously be a sudden jolt where your quadriceps are just contracting massively, and people would normally tear a quad muscle, but for whatever reason, the mechanics of it, your kneecap, when you put your weight on your knee and you bend your leg, takes all of that force and it's transmitted through there, and it can just snap. Yeah, but. Yeah,
it's a bad one.
It's bad. It definitely requires surgery. Yeah, I mean, there's
for sure you're having surgery.
Oh, for sure. Because it's the one I saw. The guy's kneecap was a quarter of the way up his thigh.
I was telling Nick,
it wasn't subtle.
No, his kneecap was like on a different court.
Yeah,
that was.
Yep.
And
sort of
looked like it was unpleasant for him.
What is this muscle here? I think you just mentioned on the top of your thigh.
Quadriceps.
Quad.
Yeah, yep.
Do you remember Wapple and Dana when Triple H Vince McMahon?
Vince McMahon. Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon tore both of his quads at the same time.
Just getting into the ring, he did it. He just gets into the ring, immediately goes down.
Was it a bit, or did he really?
No, he was on the shelf for a long time.
Because he was really being obsessive with his powerlifting. He was no kid at the time. I mean, now he's 82 years old. But anyway, he tore both of his quads smooth off the bone.
Yeah, and
just getting into the ring. All he could do was just sit there. And pretend like he was in.
And there are four muscles there. That's why it's called the quad.
Okay.
But yes,
I never even thought about it.
No, me neither.
But the two in the middle are the huge ones. So he probably tore that. And honestly, one of the risk factors for tearing, big tendons or muscles like that is steroids. So.
Oh, sure.
I was wondering if there's something.
Well, there's no connection there.
No.
Let's rule that out.
Vince McMahon and steroids.
Well, while we're talking knees and legs and things like that,
sure.
Dr. P, Skateboard Pete Jesus, and maybe the clue here is in his name. He's text 651-989-9393 with a question for you. Why do my kneecaps have a shooting pain and pop constantly?
Constant shooting pain?
Well, pop constantly. He says has a shooting pain and pop constantly. So maybe he means both.
Yeah, presumably he's a skateboarder. I mean, popping of the kneecaps or crackling. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will get that, and they come in and are worried about it. But if it doesn't hurt, it's really not. It's sort of like cracking your knuckles. It's just
I've had crackly popping knees for 30 years already.
Yep, and that doesn't mean much. If you're having shooting pains, then that obviously. Don't need a doctor to say there's something wrong.
He didn't mention any bad crashes back in the day or anything. Well,
that's all I have right
there. The most common thing people get related to the kneecap is called patellofemoral syndrome, where if you think about it, the kneecap it's connected to the quadriceps above, and then it's connected to your tibia below, and it's supposed to kind of glide in your knee joint as your knee bends. And ideally, it sort of floats in the middle of that, but a lot of people it'll tend to kind of ride off to one side, particularly towards the outside, and it causes friction when you use your knees. So running is probably the biggest culprit, but easily skateboard things where I don't know. You're obviously using your knees like crazy, but if the kneecaps continue to sort of rub as they're off center, it just causes this irritation and pain that can be very annoying. It can cause sharp and shooting discomfort that usually gets worse with certain activities. There are usually seeing a physical therapist makes sense. I mean, probably seeing a doc and just getting them to confirm that there's nothing else going on, like a torn cartilage or something. But there's exercises that can help kind of move the kneecap over towards the middle again. You strengthen the quadriceps on the inside of the leg. You can actually do exercises to isolate that.
All right.
There's even this taping technique that you can kind of pull the kneecap over for a while to take some of that relief or take some of that pain away and offer some relief.
Okay.
But yeah.
Who has the most graphic skateboarding accident story out of the 5-6 of us?
I guess I don't know how graphic it is. I had to go to the urgency room. I had I stigmatted myself. I've got scars that look like stigmatas. I took almost all the skin off my hands.
You fell off the skateboard at a high rate of speed?
Yeah, it was a huge hill that I used to. I'd get off my bus at about a mile earlier than my normal stop, just so I could skateboard home, and because this huge hill. And when we were super into it, right? And this was maybe 6th grade.
You had to take this huge hill, or you weren't a man.
And I had to do it because there's a bus full of kids on there.
So you would pass the bus as you were.
Dude, you'd get so much speed on this thing; it was crazy. Well, my trucks were loose.
Oh yeah.
And I got into the death wobble, but I still thought I'll be fine. I'm going to handle this. And pretty soon it was such a wobble, like I just tumbled a couple hundred times.
You trucked up.
Oh yeah, I did truck up, and so I'm a lot of road rash. I'm bleeding like crazy. All my hands are left on 53rd Avenue in Minneapolis or whatever it was. And so I went to a house, right, because I had cracked my head pretty good. I went to a house, and luckily there was a nurse that lived there.
You just walked up to a random house and said, I need help.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die. And there was a nurse that lived there, and she took care of me until my folks picked me up. And
you were bleeding and everything.
She held you there against your will for a month or so?
Yeah.
Put you to work.
I thought this was something to see when we were young kids. A dude broke his leg so bad on one of those skateboarding ramps that his foot spun all the way around a couple times.
Oh,
you
that's
saw it
pretty
happen?
bad.
Yeah, that was a lot of laughs.
I saw a bone come out. That was a sight to see.
Sometimes the bones come out.
Yeah, I used to hang out at a skate park because, Skater Boy's cute, right? And so I saw a lot of messed up stuff.
I remember.
Are you coming on to me, Ashley? I'm a little too old for you.
I remember it was a ski club trip. And
that's where you wet your pants, Josh would tell you.
Yeah.
At the ski club trip. Yeah.
Right there in the chalet, sitting at a table with a bunch of girls. Go ahead.
3 of my buddies broke their arms in the exact same spots because they were trying to do backflips. The first person goes down, does a half backflip, breaks his arm. Next one. They all broke their arms.
You're telling me in one night you had 3 friends break their arms in the exact same place?
It was one right after each other.
And then you went and nailed it, right?
No, I was like, I am not trying to backflip. I could not do that.
I get the second guy trying to do it, I can do this. But if you've seen 2 of your buddies shatter their arms and then you try it, you deserve it at that point.
Doctor,
I saw a spiral fracture once on a guy's leg. He was riding a motorcycle. It was like a test or a training, I should say. He's a police officer. They're having training, and he just took a corner a little wrong. Yeah.
Didn't you
I suppose you ride.
Yeah. Oh, no, you can.
Spiral fracture. I saw one of those on a guy's arm.
Josh, didn't you see someone's brain one time?
Yeah, I was going to leave that one out, but yes, I did. I've seen that before, unfortunately.
Dr. P. Jesus is in studio. Our friend Dr. P. Jesus. Go ahead and text if you have a question. Here's one from a 63-year-old. Dr. P. I thought, he or she says, I was getting bladder infections. Turns out, no, it is interstitial cystitis. Mm-hmm. Any suggestions on preventing symptoms? Interstitial or stitial. You say it because I don't know how to say it.
Interstitial cystitis.
Okay.
And it's basically people get symptoms of a urinary tract infection. So urgency, you feel like you need to go. You may have pain with urinating, just kind of irritation of, your bladder feels really irritated. But it's not an infection. It's an inflammatory condition. It's something that if it gets diagnosed, it's managed by the urologist typically, just because it's a little bit of a mysterious illness, and I'm trying to remember. I don't think
the mystery of the interstitial cystitis.
Yeah, because again, it's an inflammatory condition, not an infection. So antibiotics ultimately don't help. But I also don't think that taking prednisone or other things like that necessarily does either. It seems like some people, I'm pretty sure I remember it's affected by what you eat and drink. It can be you just get very irritated by things. It's sort of like irritable bowel of the bladder. I mean, just where you're really sensitive to things are uncomfortable. But I think irritable bowel, there is no inflammation. Interstitial cystitis, that's basically what the name means. Itis is inflammation. So, it's something that needs to be managed by a urologist, and it's just an annoying condition. But
what if the guy or girl just drank a bucket of cherry juice, or what do they say when you have
cranberry
juice?
Yeah. That's that supposedly helps with preventing or maybe taking care of a mild bacterial infection. I don't think it has any role in it.
That ain't going to cut it.
But if it means anything, I'm sorry to interrupt. If it means anything, it's a female. I don't know if there's a difference.
And I was going to say, I have never seen it in a male, and I don't know why that is. This is one thing I'll look up during the break just to refresh my memory. It's not something that is terribly common, but I have only seen it in women, and it's, and it tends to be women who are a little, 40s, 50s, 60s probably. It's not a young woman thing typically, but it's just really annoying. And it often gets, you get treated for urinary tract infections multiple times for a while, and urinary tract infection symptoms, and then ultimately somebody has to look in your bladder with the scope, and that's how it's diagnosed.
They got to go up into your...
We were just talking about that, Dr. Pena off there.
You've had penile problems for years, Josh.
Both of them.
And forever, which is so concerning because for so many years you were pissing excellence. And now
you peed bees that one time. A whole swarm of bees came
That's
out.
a true story. At the Apple River, once I peed bees. But it's weird that you have all these penile problems now because for so many years you straight up pissed excellence.
Stop that. I liked how this text is worded, and I don't have a name attached to it. Question for Dr. P. I tried to chop down a tree with my face while dirt biking 2 weeks ago and knocked myself out. I still have some lingering neck pain. Feels more like bone pain than muscle.
Dude, you knocked yourself right on out.
What sort of doc should I see, and is there a way to avoid needing a referral? I'm assuming they mean, is there a specialist they can go to?
Yeah. Okay, and they said how long ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay, so it's not... Yeah.
Still can't get right.
Right. So that's not good.
He tried chopping a tree down with his face.
With his face, which, as it turns out, is not an effective way to chop down a tree. I mean, he's lucky he didn't break his neck, basically. And, I mean, if it's 2 weeks out, it would be very unlikely that there's a fracture, just because you wouldn't think you could walk around. But that's a severe enough injury that I would say it's good to be seen sooner than later. Since it's essentially, yeah, I mean, neck, it's orthopedic. I mean, there are urgent cares for orthopedics. I'm not totally sure they would be excited to see a neck injury, though. It would probably be worth going to an urgent care because they need to do some x-rays and just make sure. You could have a subtle fracture, not that's going to probably cause paralysis or something, but you can knock one of the sides of the vertebrae off, and that's something that needs to be identified. So, and almost certainly you would have got concussion as well.
If you knocked yourself out?
Yeah, right. I mean, by definition, essentially, if you hit your head that hard on a tree. I mean, hopefully you're wearing helmets because then that's probably why you're alive. Because, that is a way people ski and hit trees and die, and it can happen on a motorbike too.
Just knocks the living hell out of you.
So, yeah, so I would say being seen sooner than later.
By who?
Well, again, it could be primary care because they can get the x-rays. It could be urgent care just because then, they will be able to see you right away. Hopefully, they will be able to do the x-rays right away. And then depending on if they find there's nothing wrong with your neck, but that you have some neck pain and some residual maybe concussion symptoms, then maybe a sports medicine person. I think they could... Either your primary care or urgent care can direct you to the right place, depending on which is the most prominent symptom.
You probably run into Chris Finch at the office.
I mean,
Wouldn't that be cool?
Because, it's just a question of whether it's, they need to address the neck, more of a concussion. So I think
neck and head stuff is scary.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't need to go see. I don't think you need to go see a spine surgeon right away.
All right.
There's definitely. So again, I think urgent care, primary care is probably the best way to start.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
What a hell of a deal this is. Yeah, Dr. P. Jesus is in studio, and he's gone about his usual business around here. He's been helping our listeners out with their health nightmares. The number is 651-989-9393. Real quick, I got to go back to our conversation on skateboard crashes. Crashing on you. Josh rolled down a hill, hit his head. All the skin came off the palms of his hands. He couldn't touch himself for months. Skateboard crashes. Some other guy texted in and said this and that fell off. Listen to this. A listener texted in and said, I got credit carded. That's a term when you get a skateboard to your taint.
I've never experienced that, thankfully.
I got credit carded. It was a skateboard to the taint. I was doing a rail slide, and my board opened up my butt sack. I think they meant to say nut sack, but either way, there's no repairing a butt or a nut sack, is there, Dr. P? You just put the patient to sleep at that point?
Right. It's over.
I'd never heard that before, Josh. Credit card.
Yeah, that's new to me, too.
Yeah, why would, like sliding a credit card?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
All right, we have great questions, more than we have time for, really. Great questions. We appreciate everybody. We try to get to as many as possible. It's just, Josh, tell me if you're not having the same problem, just picking the right one. Okay, I have to get to this one. It looks.
I was trying for the longest time to come up with a joke about the credit card. I was going to try and come up with a joke, and I think I have one, and maybe I've ruined it by doing it this way.
No, let's hear it.
Was the credit card from Goldman Sachs?
Son of a bitch
really
bastard.
good.
It took me too long to come up with that.
Dr. P, why does it feel like a bag of Pop Rock candies are going off in my underwears?
Oh.
Why does it feel like a bag of Pop Rocks are going off in my underwears? Let me just give you what I have in front of me. My doctor says pelvic floor dysfunction and vaginal stimulation therapy isn't working. HSV2 positive, no outbreaks, to suggest constant Pop Rocks feeling. And now it's happening in my left ankle and mid-back. Do you have any idea what's happening?
Pop rocks. So I mean, like crackling and they literally crackle and pop, right? I mean,
dude, your guess is as good as any of the rest.
I love Pop Rocks, by the way.
I used to love them.
Same.
I haven't had one since I was a kid, probably.
They're all tingly in your mouth. I love it.
About 1 minute ago, I lost my love for Pop Rocks.
Yeah, tingly. That's interesting. I mean, because, boy, that's a there's no way I'm going to come up with a great.
All right.
I mean, herpes simplex, which is what they mentioned. That can cause tingling sensations and a weird nerve discomfort before you have an outbreak typically, but they said there's been no outbreaks. It sounds like probably nerve symptoms, and if they're having symptoms in their ankle and low back, is that what you said?
Yes, ankle and lower back.
Or
low mid-back, ankle and mid-back.
I mean, those things are, they're disconnected except by your nervous system. Well, that's sort of. But I mean, I think looking at what's going on with the nerves. I mean, weird things when you start to have neurologic symptoms in multiple places that at least are on the mind of the doctor. Things like multiple sclerosis. I mean, I'm not telling this person they have multiple sclerosis, but that's where you have basically changes to the nerves in the brain or spinal cord that cause weird sensations in different places. And it's at least something to consider.
Sure.
But yeah, that's.
I think you've done quite well considering what we have in front of us.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
What about this from Scotchy Scotch Jesus? His wife has shingles and said the pain is intense at times. Is there anything she can take to relieve the pain? Would you suggest Scotchy Scotch?
Oh, like scotch?
Scotch.
I mean, we don't generally recommend alcohol, but I suppose you could do a little bit of it. So shingles is where you get, it's recurrence of the chickenpox virus that kind of reemerges later in life.
Is that if you've had chickenpox, or can anybody get shingles?
Sorry
to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. I mean, essentially, you basically have to have had chickenpox to get shingles. If you've never had chickenpox and you're exposed to shingles, you can get. Well, I'm not sure exactly. I guess you get chickenpox at that point. But it's typically it's a reemergence of the virus that causes an overall rash. It kind of hides out in a part of your body. It sounds insane.
My dad had it, and it seemed awful. He was miserable.
I mean, it always
I haven't heard any good reviews.
It sounds like science fiction, but it hangs out in a dorsal root ganglion, which is like a little cluster of nerves off of the spinal cord. And at some point, if you're stressed or ill, most likely your immune system kind of forgets to keep it in check, and it reemerges. It follows the path of a nerve, erupts on the skin with a rash, typically. Then you get nerve pain associated with it. It's hard to treat nerve pain. That's the problem. Things like ibuprofen and Tylenol, I mean, they may help a little bit, but they don't help a lot. If you're having terrible pain from it, it's prescription medicines that affect nerve pain.
Okay.
Gabapentin is one that maybe people have heard of. It's originally an anti-seizure medicine, but it's usually used for more nerve pain stuff. But yeah, I mean, you need to go be seen because it's nothing over the counter is going to help. And we could circle back to interstitial cystitis really quick because it's so that's the person who has bladder symptoms and they don't have an infection. It's typically going to be a woman, and it's basically it's urinary tract infection symptoms in the absence of an infection is the way it's diagnosed. Simply, if you look inside the bladder, sometimes you will see these specific red lesions that are inflammatory and can be treated. But there's really no treatment itself to the condition other than trying to help control the symptoms, kind of like irritable bowel. So there's a medicine called amitriptyline, which is an older antidepressant that's used for pain conditions more commonly at this point. So it's an annoying thing. It can be controlled, but there's not a simple treatment for it.
Josh, were you saying off air that you have seen the inside of your own bladder?
I have, yes.
What kind of a position do you have to get in to accomplish that?
The American taxpayer.
Oh, bastard!
They bent me over, and they went for it. No, I was kind of like sitting in a, what was that? I think I was on I don't remember if I was laying down or kind of in a recliner type thing. It was one of the two.
And they snaked you?
Yeah, they did.
What did it look like in there?
I saw it on screen.
Yeah, they showed it on screen. And, my urologist, who I absolutely loved, super funny dude. I love this guy. But I got a little frustrated with him because it's not super painful because they numb you up, which is kind of embarrassing, that process. They numb you up, and then, they scope you.
Yeah.
And the scope, by the way, was a lot shorter than I would have liked to see. They didn't. He even said, "I've never used this little amount of scope."
Right.
So he scopes me, and he's kind of pointing out. I was like, "Isn't this amazing? Like this part of this has never seen light before, and here it is." He's showing me, he was like deep about it, and I was like, "Can we just wrap this up?" Because it was very uncomfortable.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, I thought you were the one that was getting all like, "Wow, look at this."
Oh, no, I'm sorry if I misled you.
No,
I understand. You're like, dude, just finish.
Yeah. My wife said that to me before too.
You didn't find any loose change in there or anything?
No, I mean, it just looked like. You could have said that was any part of my body, and
right.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
wouldn't know.
Man, he's seen the insides of his own bladder. We got to get going. How about one more real quick for Dr. P?
Let's do it.
Listener says here now, according to my watch, they must have one of those freaky deaky new watches that keeps your pulse and whatnot. Mm-hmm. According to my watch, my heart rate drops to the low 30s when I'm asleep. Is this a concern? Briefly to the low 30s, they said.
I wonder if it's so. My wife has one of those watches, and she's in great shape. So her
resting,
her resting heart rate. Sometimes the alarm will go off and say, "Oh my God, you're dead." Where it's concerned with how her heart rate can just go.
In general, I mean, people's heart rates can slow down dramatically at night. Normally you wouldn't be monitoring it, but with watches you do. I'd say if you don't have any symptoms at any point of lightheadedness or problems with physical activity, anything like that, it's probably nothing to worry about.
Like, don't regular runners kind of have this?
Yeah, basically, if you're super fit, your cardiovascular system's just really efficient, and your heart doesn't need to pump very often to get the blood circulating. So that's why you're resting pulse. If it's intermittent, that's probably fine. If your watch is saying you're staying in the 30s overnight, I can recall a couple of patients who, they must have had a watch because of how else would they have known? But when it was somebody who was quite a bit older, who they really were getting, their heart rate was getting so slow, but then when we put a monitor on them for a couple days, we could actually see it's not only slow, but the parts of the rhythm that are supposed to stay in sync overnight were also starting to get disconnected, and so that person needed a pacemaker. But that's unusual, and they were having a little bit of symptoms too when they were up and around during the day. So, yeah, intermittent stuff overnight. I mean, it's just things that we wouldn't normally pick up. If you're not someone who's in shape, and it's doing that, it's probably more of an issue because
might have a couple of questions.
I mean, because your cardiovascular system is not efficient if you're not in shape. It shouldn't be able to get away with going that slow.
Okay.
Lube salesman Jesus said his resting heart rate gets into the high 30s, low 40s at night, and he runs marathons. So
yep. It's just really
maybe this person is really fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Well, on our way out, I probably doesn't do us any favors to start an argument on our way out of here, but Bug Eye Wagon Jesus says getting a skateboard to the taint is not called a credit card; it's called a popsicle.
Yeah, a lot of people are texting that.
I mean, it seems
the
like
credit card is the butt.
Oh.
Right, if it slides through the cheeks
Oh,
there.
okay. That would make
This
sense.
is something we're going to have to settle before Tuesday.
I'm going to go out and try both of those.
That's how committed you are. You do the research for the show.
Dr. P, you don't have to be here on Monday. Nobody does.
Okay, I will not show up.
Yeah, we've got Monday off, but always love having you hang around with us.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun here being for the whole last part of the show.
Great questions, too, today. Thank you to our listeners for all your texts. Yeah.
Happy 30th tomorrow to Stanky Boy Jesus. May the 4th be with you. Happy 13th to Ava from Dad Only in America Jesus. And have a great Star Wars Day, Cinco de Mayo, and go Wolves.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.